Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday to all across the Delaware Valley as we careen toward Memorial Day weekend. We love Memorial Day weekend. Not only to celebrate our service, of course, all of our great servicemen and women. We want to thank you, and we love it. Memorial Day weekend is a great day to remember those who have served. And it's also the gateway to summer. And so tomorrow we'll kick things off. We'll be very festive, as always, despite the rain. Lots of stuff to be festive about in Philadelphia sports. The Tush Push lives. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, Zach Berman on the impassioned plea by Jeffrey Lurie yesterday. Flying in Jason Kelce, Jeff, and they swayed the owners. Zach's got some great inside nuggets on the Tush Push. We all thought it was dead. Every insider, except Mike Garafolo. In fact, he was the only one yesterday on the show. He said, well, not so fast. It still has a chance. Everybody else, Diana Rossini, Adam Schefter, right? Everybody was like, oh, no, the Tush Push is going to die. It's going to go away. All right. Those people talk to people, and I figured the same thing. I'm listening to them. And Mike said yesterday, yeah, it's probably going to go away, but there's a chance. Well, he was right. There was a chance. And Jeff and Jason Kelce saved the Tush Push, which is awesome. We're going to have some fun with that. I love it. I would run it the first play from scrimmage against the Packers. I would love that. Here you go. Just line up. 1st and 10, and I just Tush Push it. All right? Here you go, Green Bay. Right up your cheesy giggy. All right? That's it. Phillies, again, another win. 3 in a row against the Rockies, who stink. 8-41. Oh, my God. But it's been fun. It's been a great. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And the sweep today at 3 o'clock. So we get to watch that. Also, last night, one of the most amazing basketball games ever. I mean, are you kidding me? The Pacers are down 14 points with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. They're down 8 with 41 seconds to go. Halliburton, back of the rim, it almost hit scraped the ceiling of the Garden and dropped in. OT. Pacers shocked the world. Oh, my. Incredible. Stars, same thing. Stars down 3-1 to the Oil. Come back. 3 power play goals in the third period. Bang. Take the lead. Couple open netters. And then they win 6-3. Crazy night last night in the playoffs. Shame we don't have anybody, VG. Shame the Sixers stink.
We ain't got anybody. We got the Tush Push, baby.
That's it.
Tush. Tush your pushy. Tush your pushy.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. We're clean. It's clean. It's clean.
Easy on that one,
Tony
cuz.
Romo world.
Easy on that one, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
We're there. Love it, dude. I love it. You can't take it away from us.
Yeah, it is actually great. Now, Tyler, just leave the whole screen. I don't need to see that. I can't see.
Yeah.
You're asking me to read. My eyes are so bad. Like, that just looks like nothing. That's why VG has the chat.
Sorry, but I was just letting you know Zach was ready when you were ready.
Yeah. I can't see that. You just got to say, cause Zach's ready. All right.
He's like Mr. Magoo.
Like that's I can't like I can't see that. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to our man. Speaking of which, the great Z Berman. I told you he's got some good inside nuggets, like he always does. Looking dapper from the old PHLY Bird Show.
He's such a good layersman.
He's got layers.
Always layers well.
Yeah, he's a fall spring dresser.
Yes.
That's good. Good morning, Zachariah.
Hey, good morning. I could use some summer weather, though. I'll tell you that.
Oof.
It's like 55 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, it's cold.
Feels like
Miserable.
November.
Yeah. Football weather, baby.
Yeah. Let's go. Tush Push.
I would take this weather all year round if I had football all year round.
Hey, wait, did you see what the Eagles social media account did as soon as it was not banned? They put up, 20 minutes of tush pushes on their YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's cool. So, Zach shocked the world. Everybody thought it was going to go away. All the NFL insiders said it's going to go away. How about it?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident the Eagles felt that same way yesterday morning. If you and I were speaking yesterday morning, the Eagles thought it was going to be overturned. They were prepared for it. Actually, Jeffrey Lurie, from my understanding, felt that he had to go into that meeting with a passionate defense of the play and of his franchise. And so that's what happened. Obviously, they brought Jason Kelce there. I believe Jason Kelce felt he was mischaracterized by other owners at the spring meetings when it was framed that like he stopped playing in part because of this play. And as he said on his podcast, and I believe he said in the meeting yesterday, that if he could run 65 tush pushes, he would still play, right? I mean, it's easier than blocking Dexter Lawrence. So the Eagles came with data. They came with anecdotes. They obviously came with a star witness. And my understanding is that Jeffrey Lurie was outspoken, at times pretty colorful, and had some candid remarks. But at the end, the result is different than what they expected when they came into the room.
So what was the candid remarks? Like what was the tenor of them? Like what like that you're trying to rob my team of my play that we have perfected, we have worked so hard on, and you're trying to steal that from us?
Yeah, so the sentiment was that they developed this play, refined this play that anyone could run, and that the only way the league feels like it can stop it, or the other franchises feel like they can stop it, is by banning it. And so that's why he said it's like this dream scenario. You have this play now.
He said a little more than that.
Yeah, the off-the-cuff remark. Can I say it on the air?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the off-the-cuff remark, and this was my understanding, was the quote. It was like a wet dream for a teenage boy.
Yeah.
To have and it was. He said it. My understanding is he said it like in the moment, off the cuff. It wasn't meant to. He was trying to explain how you had this like dream scenario that occurred. And the league's trying to stop it, right? And so that was, he felt he needed to be passionate in his defense of the play and of the team, because there is a sentiment that this is targeted toward the Eagles. And by the way, Jerry Jones even said publicly yesterday that he doesn't know if he doesn't like the play or if he just doesn't like the fact that the Eagles are so good at it, right? And so that's there's a sentiment around the league that because the Eagles do this so well, that was the impetus for trying to take this out of the game. And that's why Jeffrey Lurie felt he needed to be passionate about it. And I'll also add John Ferrari is someone who a lot of Eagles fans don't know. He's assistant GM. He's huge in all types of role interpretations, rule proposals. And John Ferrari was on site yesterday too, and also had a major part in the Eagles' message to the other owners.
Wow. I listen, you're right. Like when Jerry Jones basically tells you that, and I applaud him for that, like being that honest. Like, and I get it. Like if you're another owner, you're like, you know what? This freaking play Just get rid of it. Like, that's your. But upon further review, when you actually think about it intelligently and fairly and realize that it's not just about your franchise, it's about the league and the sanctity of the league, you realize that you cannot ban the tush push, that all this nonsense, that it's not a football play and all this other people are going to get hurt, it's just not true. And so I applaud them. So who were the ones that kind of did a reversal? Do you know? Anybody?
Yeah, so the 10 teams that voted against the ban are the Eagles, of course,
right,
the Ravens, the Browns, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Saints, the Jets, the Titans. This was first reported by Adam Schefter. And what's interesting here is a few things. Number one, you'll notice two teams aren't on there, the Arizona Cardinals and the Indianapolis Colts. And I bring that up because Nick Sirianni, when I spoke to him about this back in March, he thought his former assistants would be, would be on his side here. And he even said at one point that those guys have jobs in part because of this play. So the fact that Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon's teams did not vote for this. Now Kellen Moore did. The other thing, the other thing that
Joey Rats
is of those 10 teams, so of the 9 other teams, only one is playing against the Eagles next season, and that's the Detroit Lions. And so you kind of respect the Lions for kind of sticking to their convictions.
I like the Lions.
Yes.
I respect Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I told you Dan Campbell's a good man.
He's a good man.
So I don't want to frame it that like the other teams are scared of the play, but it is.
I think it's obvious.
Statistically, it's very odd that of the 24 teams that voted, of the 22 teams that voted against this, or that wanted to ban it, all those teams except only one team that the Eagles are playing was a team that voted to keep this in the game. So that stood out as well.
I'm disappointed by two fellas.
Harbaugh?
No, he voted for it. Oh, Jim, you talking about?
Jim.
Yeah, a little bit, but actually deeper. Red and Sean McDermott.
Oh, well, you knew McDermott's
I
a rat.
knew that Sean didn't want, but even Red's a football man. He's going to go down as the greatest coach in the history of the game. He's going to beat Belichick, and he's going to go down as the greatest coach in the history of the game. And he voted against it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sean McDermott has been pretty outspoken about this. Andy Reid, I was at his table back in March when this came up, and he was kind of saying that he's going to defer to his training staff and his medical staff and get the data from them. I agree that. Andy much better than I do. To me, it's the Colts and the Cardinals. Those really surprised me.
Well, yeah,
Gannon doesn't surprise me.
Those two are rats.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's rat territory. McDermott, I just don't even understand it. I got to get him on the show. I don't even understand it. Like, I don't get why when you run the play, what you run it with Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's highly dangerous. Like you run it with your star quarterback. Get out of here.
Yeah, I hear you there. So that stood out. And then the Packers part of this is a very real thing. Like Eagles fans are going to be galvanized against the Packers outside.
Mortal enemy.
Yeah.
We got Philly sports trips. We're going there, Zach, to
Lambeau,
Green Bay.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is going to be like
war.
Yeah, it's definitely war, and we're going to go as warmongers.
Yeah, we got to cover all sides. Cover the West Coast, the East Coast.
Yeah, we're going to come up from Chicago.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We're going to come down from Minnesota.
Yes.
We're west from Iowa. All right, because we got Cooper's people.
Yeah.
We're going to surround them.
Needs to be done.
Yeah, so there's this school of thought that they were doing it on behalf of the league. Obviously they don't have an owner.
Right.
It's a publicly traded team, so like there's this thought that they were doing the league a solid with this. But in my time covering the team, and you know this better than me, Anthony, is like typically these rule proposals don't even get to voting unless they feel like they have the vote.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like in Congress, right? You're lobbying votes. So the fact that this didn't pass when they had when it went to vote, that's an embarrassment. I would imagine for the Packers, for the league, because this is something that behind the scenes you kept hearing they wanted this out of the game.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm shocked that it didn't pass. And I thought all along that, like you said, that they used the Packers to do their bidding, right? Like, that I thought this was a Goodell. You know, Goodell's got the ear. Like, there's a couple owners out there that are whispering in Goodell's ear, get rid of this thing. It's ugly. It's like the baseball got ready to shift, you know, all that stuff. Just get rid of it. And then the reason why they table it was to make sure all the ducks are in a row, everything's in line, that they would be able to kill it. And this is a strike one for the good guys. This is a monumental thing because I've never seen this situation work out.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I'll say too, you know, like I mean, I'm pretty close to covering the team, so I'll defer to the fans in terms of like the way, you know, Jeffrey Lurie might be viewed, but Jeffrey Lurie went in there and he flexed his muscle. He had his team's back, he had his franchise's back, he had his fan base's back. Like this, from my understanding, they went into that meeting yesterday thinking this was going to be overturned, and they left the meeting with this not being overturned. So the fact that there was something that happened in that meeting that was persuasive enough that they didn't get 24 votes, and so that stands out. Now my personal opinion is that this story has been overstated. Look, they run it 2-3 times a game on average. The push part of it, from my opinion, is not that significant. It's the offensive line and the quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah.
That if they said you can't push anymore, the Eagles' conversion rates wouldn't be that much different. But I do think the Eagles viewed this as much as anything else, like on principle, that there was something that they coach, that they teach, that they draft for, and that, you know, they develop these players, they rep this, and that it's being targeted. And the way, you know, it was kind of explained to me is that if there's a player who does, you know, if let's say Patrick Mahomes throws the ball, you know, he has the sidearm throws, and they say you can't do sidearm throws anymore. Like, you wouldn't do that. You can't target a player, so you're targeting a play here. And I think there was a principle here that the Eagles felt that they needed to stand on.
Yeah, I listen, and I applaud them for it, and I think they were right. You know, again, we've said it over and over again, but I just like it as a victory, you know, for justice.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of how I view it. Like, because it's not fair to do that, and that's why I look at it in the big scope. Like, you're right. Like, dude, you run it a couple times. Now, it is a weapon. Well, let's not get it twisted, right? Now, you're talking about a tiny bit of percentage points. Like, they would still be highly successful at the quarterback sneak. So they said it would be 85% or 86% successful at a QB sneak. They're what, 91% successful at Tush Push?
Yeah, last year was down a little bit more. Now, there were some different circumstances, like the Green Bay game. The turf really affected them in that game in Brazil. But, you know, Lurie said they need to get better at this play, and there are, like, Jacksonville did a good job defending the play. So teams are putting strategies together here, and I think you're going to see the Eagles continue to add wrinkles to it, and that's something I've spoken to Nick about like how they dress up the play, and really, like, if you look at the origin of this started from Sirianni's perspective when he was with the Colts. And Andrew Luck was banged up. They didn't want Andrew Luck to do sneaks, so they used Jacoby Brissett in those situations. And then they started flexing a tight end back there. And then actually the week 1 of the 2022 season, if you remember, the Eagles are playing the Lions. It's 38-35, fourth quarter. The Eagles have a 4th and 1 at the 40-yard line. They keep the offense on the field. They sneak it. Jalen converts it. And Nick said then that they're going to need they're going to need this play to be a big part of what they do. And so that's when they started adding these different variations to it. And I think you'll continue to see that this season.
Zach, is this a done deal? Like, is there a rule? Can they revisit this every year? Can this come up every year for a vote?
Theoretically, yes, VG, right? I mean, they can keep putting proposals together every year. This is in place this year, right? They can't change it now before the season, from my understanding. But next season, this can be revisited. We'll see how it goes. I really think the variable would be if there's a major injury, there's a quarterback injury or something happens, and it's kind of used as a smoking gun, if you will. I think if that were to happen, it would be revisited. But I don't think it would be revisited simply because like teams are upset about it. I think this was their chance, and it didn't get passed.
I guess I could see if half the league was really good at it and every 4th and short became an automatic, I guess then maybe.
Well, that would be the shift.
Yeah. It just feels you just can't do it with the one team. It was obviously a target.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, you brought up the injury, and Mike Garafolo yesterday with us talked about that. Like, that's why one of the reasons why he thought it would pass, because once you invoke the injury thing, what happens if there is an injury? Then people go, I'm calling my lawyer. You guys knew it was dangerous, yet you didn't do anything about it. That's what Mike said yesterday. Now, I don't know how that would play out, but you get my point.
I hear you, and I love Mike. Mike's dead on with what he brings up there. The people I talked to at the Eagles say that there's no injury data that the league can present that suggests this is a dangerous play or a more dangerous play. In fact, Jeffrey Lurie's position is that the quarterback sneak is a more dangerous play than this. So that there's, if there were an injury, I do think that would pop up. But I think the team's rebuttal would be if there's an injury on an inside zone play, are you going to stop running inside zone? Right? I mean, there's a part of this that's football.
Right. Yeah, no, listen, I'm with you. Hey, completely off the subject while we got you. Yesterday, the Brain, I didn't like his tone yesterday, the Brain.
Nah,
he said the Eagles are due for a regression and that he thought 11.5 as a win total was outrageously high, and then thought that what do you say?
9?
He thought that he would even bet,
under
he thought it
9.5?
should be under 10.5, maybe even 10.
Yes, he said he would lean 9. He would bet under 9.5, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the Brain knows what he's doing. I disagree based on just my back.
Your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I see them at 11, 12 wins, which is what Vegas has them at, right? I mean, the 11.5. So I did, when I was doing the W's and L's, I had it at 12-5. I do think there's some regression that's certainly going to happen in the sense that they had a career year from Saquon Barkley. They had a career year the defense was number one. It's hard for the defense to be better. That said, there's areas where I did think they can definitely improve, in particular the passing game. Okay, I think they have young players on defense who will continue to develop, but the schedule is tough, and they play high-level teams throughout the season.
So let me ask you a question. Back to the Tush Push real quick, because I agree with everything you just said. Could it be that this was a Troy Vincent thing?
In what way? Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Yeah. So from what I've heard, and actually this was reported by ESPN, Seth Wickersham had this, that Troy Vincent did not appreciate some of Jeffrey Lurie's comments in the meeting, and at one point might have chastised him. I'll defer to you, Anthony, as far as like any history that might be there between Troy Vincent and the Eagles and the way that ended.
I think we're talking, if we're calling rats out,
man, Troy.
If we're calling rats like Jonathan Gannon's a rat and Shane Steichen's a rat, then the bigger rat is Troy Vincent.
Wait. Well, you're right. I'm just reading out. He chastised Jeffrey Lurie for that dream comment.
From what I understand, now I wasn't in the room. I didn't talk to everyone in the room, right? I've heard second and third hand, about it. But I think that
you know what I'm getting at.
But again, those 2000 Eagles dynamics far better than I do.
Yeah. I will say, Troy Vincent is not our friend.
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. I like Troy.
Yeah, I'll defer to you on that. Now, Troy he works for the league. His constituencies are the 32 teams, not just Philly. Grew up across the river in Trenton, right? I mean, I
got to turn my back on you.
Yeah,
those
dead to us.
I would say more than anyone in this market, those 2000 teams. So I will. I'll definitely defer to you in terms of any of those dynamics.
Troy,
out.
Out of the family.
I do find it interesting that the Lions and Ravens is on brand. They're a franchise. They can't.
I love the Lions and Ravens.
Yeah, but the rest of them are all bottom feeders. They're almost like, we're not in the playoffs. You guys deal with it. Like, we're cool keeping it. We don't have to worry about in the playoffs. It's like they're all junk teams. Except for
the Jets. I like the Jets.
Browns, Jaguars, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, Titans. Like, they're all bottom feeders. Like, they just don't care. They're like, deal with it.
That's all right.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, with the Patriots, I think Vrabel, a similar sentiment to Dan Campbell. Like, all right, try to stop it. They're good at it. Try to stop it.
Dan, I like Dan.
I do love the mentality of the defensive coaches.
Yeah, I do too. They're the greatest, man. They really are. All right, my man, great stuff as always. So today, 2:00.
Yeah, today 2:00 in studio. We'll talk more about this. Have some other fun stuff about the Eagles. I'll be on with Bo, Fran, and Professor Selman.
Oh, the professor's here. Oh, nice.
Prof.
I like it. All right, listen, good stuff, brother. You're the man,
Appreciate
buddy.
that.
Love your nugs. Great stuff.
Thank you.
How about the Zachariah?
Yeah, Zach bringing it. And I tell you what, the chat was asking for him to drop the dream comment. He did. So how about pounding the like button there for that chat? He gave you what you wanted. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
You can chat. Make Zach say it. Make Zach say it. He said it.
You got to do us a solid, right? Because I never – listen, I've always been stubborn. But one of the things that we need to do more of is we got to bring up – you got to subscribe. So tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. It's free, all right? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just hit the button.
Yeah.
All right? And then do the like thing
I'm going to like.
All right, if you do the like thing first, we need that for algorithms and – listen, whatever. It is what it is, but we got to get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Moments like that, pound the like.
All right. Let's take care of some business. Talk about our friends. Yeah. How about the BetMark Sportsbook online casino app? Oh, it's got you covered. What are we at today? German Marquez.
Phillies are minus 300.
300. Rangers on the mound for the fights.
Oh, my bad. It's updated. Minus 315.
315. Oh, my God. 315.
You can't even
can't even look. Like, they're making it impossible for you to bet.
The run line to get some juice, you got to go minus 3.5. Plays 104.
Minus 3.5? Like, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's like a basketball game. These are runs.
It would be like you would think a college team would have this kind of
3.5. That's insane.
I think the Knicks were 4.5-point favorites last night.
Right. You got it, Tyler. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Rangers at over 5.5 for strikeouts.
What? 5.5?
Yeah.
I like the over. I know you were upset last night because you're Taiwan.
Yeah.
Take
Taiwan out. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll talk about the brain later on. They'll join us, give us some selections. But don't forget about the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app, whether it's the hockey playoffs, the NBA playoffs, or the fighting Phillies and all the baseball. You got it right there at your fingertips. Plus, there's always a new way to win, like live dealer blackjack, roulette, craps. All right, baccarat, like VG's aristocrat. He likes the baccarat. He also likes all the slots. In fact, new customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. Just remember, you got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let's talk about the Art of Words guys. Like, great artists. Anything's just a perfect addition for a man cave. If you've seen their stuff, you know, they do like, it'll be Citizens Bank Park with all the names of all the players. And, you know, in the Art of Words world, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this local Philly artist proves it. Each piece is made entirely from handwritten words, like every Eagle player forming the link and every Philly shaping Citizens Bank Park. And it's not just sports they do. They capture Boathouse Row, Reading Terminal, the Philly skyline, Jersey Shore, and a bunch more. They're kind of unforgettable gifts for sports fans, grads, housewarmings, Mother's Days, Father's Days, any occasion you got coming up, and just a great addition to the man cave. They started selling these at the K-Lot and the Rice's Flea Market, and Philly fans like just went crazy over it and launched this career. They got pieces of art available in dozens of teams, cities too, so there's something for everyone. These pieces, they're total conversation starters. Like, you look at it, you see a name, and then you'll recognize another one as soon as everyone's reliving their favorite sports memories with different names of players. They've been featured on the Today Show, ESPN, and TED Talks. So check it out at artofwords.com for some cool art to add to your house. That's artofwords.com. And you can use the code PHLY at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Artofwords.com. Doing good stuff.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of doing good stuff, Philadelphia Soccer 2026. Jonathan, come on in, Jonathan. Come into the studio, buddy. Here we go. Because we talk about what we're excited for. Philadelphia Soccer 2026. My man.
What's happening?
What's going on, buddy?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Jonathan. Yeah, he's got a good face, don't he? And the smile. You got a good way about it.
Oh, man. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Well, dude, I call as I see it. We're very excited. You are the director of social impact for Philadelphia Soccer 2026, which is the head of bringing the World Cup here. We sat with Meg last week, the mighty Meg.
The mightiest.
Meg Kane, she killed it last week.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
So speak right into the mic.
Here we go.
And
check.
You work for the city for a while. This is perfect spot for you. All right, because it's all about the dramatic social impact that bringing something like the World Cup to Philadelphia is going to have in our region.
Indeed. Well, it's actually a full circle moment for Meg and myself. We met during the papal visit in 2015.
Oh, you were part of the papal visit too? That's awesome.
So I got my first start into city government working for Mayor Nutter in his second term. And it was a life-changing experience for me, professionally and personally. I got to rip and run the streets with him every day. I got to learn a lot about what it takes to lead a major city in the United States, and also to take on big events like the papal visit, like the DNC, like the NFL draft, like Forbes 30 for 30 concerts, all that sort of stuff, right? And so
you worked the draft too? You're a part of the draft?
So after leaving the mayor's office, when Mayor Kenny came into office, I worked for the Commerce Department. So we did a lot around economic development, bringing in big events, worked hand in hand with the mayor's office on that. So I was very fortunate in my time with the city, a little bit over 8 years, to have these really unique experiences. So I worked with Mayor Nutter, a friend and mentor to this day. I worked in the Commerce Department doing a lot of things that really honed my social impact skills. And then for about 3.5 years after that, I worked for Philadelphia International and Northeast Airports. And so what many people don't know.
Oh, you were a PHLY guy.
Yes, yeah, that's
PHL.
right. Just throw the Y on it.
Yeah.
That's right. But
I worked in college. I went to Temple too, like you did. And in college, I worked at the airport. I was a ramp rat. I'd load bags into. It was for Midway Airlines.
That's a character building experience right there.
Dude, I loved it because here's the thing. Like, so all my friends had jobs. Like in South Philly, everybody went to the airport. Like you knew half the airport was South Philly, right?
Yep.
So they all had jobs, and you had flight benefits, so you could fly for free. So it was the greatest. My cousin and I, first time I was ever on a flight, it was because they sent us to Chicago for training, and it was the greatest. I'm a freshman in college, right? You got to travel. Saw the Eagles play Dallas one year. We all my buddies. It was the best.
See, you extracted the best out of your experience there. And so when I went into my working at the airport, I thought the same thing. But not many people know, but Philadelphia International Northeast Airports are run by the city. And so the then Division of Aviation, now the Department of Aviation, used to report to Commerce. Now they're their own department. But they're the landlord of sorts. So all of the different airlines and the concessionaires, et cetera, they have that relationship. And so I'm like, oh, same thing. Where are we flying out to? you know how it is with the city. It's like you gotta account for every dollar and cent, which I have total respect for and did during my time there. But it was actually a really unique experience for multiple reasons. The first of which is you don't really appreciate how much of a city within itself an airport is.
Oh yeah,
And the
Cargo City.
Oh man,
Oh yeah,
Cargo City.
that's what they call it, Cargo City.
I know.
I used to have to go
There's
pick
gonna
up
be bodies
and-
down there when I drive to Cargo City.
Yeah, there was like it was like the fuel, Atlantic Aviation.
Oh yeah, you know.
Oh my God! I can I tell you, and I'm going to bring it back full circle.
Sure.
I love airports. All right, I love airports. So after college, I was a sports writer. Before I was on the radio and TV and stuff. I was a sports writer, which I loved, and I was on the road for 300 nights a year. So I was always just traveling, and I love to this day. I love an airport because I love to look and see where people are going, and I imagine all these places, right? Because I have a bit of wanderlust, and I'm like, oh, look at this. They're going to Berlin, and they're going to Salt Lake City, and they're going there. And in a lot of ways, the World Cup is just that, and we're hosting it, right? Like, it's all the world,
Yes, sir.
our country, and the world that's going to descend upon Philadelphia.
No question. Well, first of all, they need to get you to do a commercial because that is one of the most beautiful, positive takes on the airport experience I've ever heard. But
I do. I sit there. I read a book. I like have a drink. I love it.
Psycho.
But you know, it actually was an eye-opening experience for me because I got to know the inner workings of the airport, and it made my familiarity like a little more fun, to be honest. And now, like, I know the nooks and crannies, so I know how to navigate accordingly. But to your point, bringing it back to it, the airport is a great partner of ours because that is going to be the first entry point for a lot of visitors that are going to be coming to the city next summer. So we're working with them in lockstep, and we recognize that transportation and infrastructure is going to be a big piece of this puzzle. And so whether it's Philadelphia National Northeast Airport, 30th Street Station, all the bus depots, ride shares, vehicles, the highways, like we're very in tune with making sure that visitors from near and far have that welcoming entry to our city and buckle up for a really incredible experience.
That's a great point. Like, so having covered a lot of big events as a journalist, like one of the things that I always liked was you go to these big events and there was tons of volunteers, right?
Yep.
And they would be at the airport, right? So wherever you are, you landed and you got off and you get your bags at the baggage claim, and next thing you know, hi, you know where you're going? You know, welcome to Nashville and welcome to San Antonio, home of the Final Four.
Like an ambassador.
And and then these are volunteers.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, if you want to go here, you go here. They give you something. You need, whatever, any information. But they were I was seasoned traveler, but they were very helpful. And the smiling face to welcome you to a new city is beautiful. And especially when you're going to have people that are their first ever exposure to Philadelphia will be during this event.
You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. And it does. A smile makes such a big difference, whether it's the airport, whether it's when you're walking into the office, whether you're about
You
to
walked
grab a
into the
cup of
studio
Joe.
with a smile. The first thing we saw about you, Jonathan.
I ate a Snickers before I came in here, so I had to make sure I wasn't hangry. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. So let's look at what else is under your jurisdiction. All right.
Sure. So I'm really fortunate to be in this role. And to your point, it's really the culmination of these experiences that I had both working for the city and then most recently with Rivers Casino in the Fishtown neighborhood, where I got to do a lot of things in the community as well as connecting with the government. And so from a macro level, we have a wonderful partnership with FIFA. And so they have several pillars of focus that we are, again, on the same page with when it comes to sustainability and human rights. We have such an amazing partner with the Link. So they know how to do big events. They're going to transform the stadium into this amazing once in a lifetime experience for soccer fans, right? And so they're LEED certified. They have all of these things that we were really interested and focused on. So that just made it so much easier for us from that standpoint. But the fact that we're welcoming guests from all over the world, we want to be very cognizant of their culture, of their expectations, and be able to adapt to that and welcome them accordingly. And then from a micro level, it's Philadelphia's time to shine. And so from the far northeast to the deep southwest, we want to leave no stone unturned when it comes to attendance is cool, but we want participation whenever possible, right? So whether that's a neighborhood activation, whether it's engaging with small and diverse businesses to make sure that they have some skin in the game when it comes to benefiting from this. It's going to be a transformative experience short term, but we really want to make sure that it's not just a moment, but a movement that will last far beyond the last whistle being blown.
Well, you know what? And cities use events like this, Olympics. I remember Montreal, like going there in the 90s, and they had the Olympics in the 70s. And it still lasted beyond just the Olympic Stadium. There was still infrastructure, still an energy that Montreal had that was born of the Olympics 20 years prior.
Absolutely.
Right? So like cities, World's Fairs, Olympics, World Cups.
Yep.
This stuff has a lasting kind of vibe to a city.
No question. And when you think about the 94 World Cup, that's really when the MLS was born.
Right.
Right. And so now looking now, and I make this comment when I'm out and about, the United States is the only place where you spell football FOOTBALL. Everywhere else it's FUTBOL.
Right.
And so we want to help bridge that gap. So of course it's important for the young person that already has familiarized themselves with the game and are ascending. Like we want to further cultivate that love that they have. But for the young Philadelphian that might not be familiar or aware of all the benefits that can come from playing soccer, both on the field and off, that's what we're really trying to hit. Because the reality is, I started off playing soccer.
Did you?
That was my introduction to organized sports. It taught me camaraderie, sportsmanship, learning how to win, learning how to lose, all that sort of stuff, and bouncing back from it. But like many young Americans, middle school hit, and I started chasing those more traditional sports like basketball and football.
Right.
And by the time I got to junior year of high school, I was like, I'm not going D1 for any of this stuff, where who knows what would have happened if I would have pursued, I was pretty good. Like,
look at that.
Days at soccer. Yeah, not to but it's one of those what ifs. And so I don't want the young people in this city to have that what if moment. I want it to more be like, why not? And so that's one of the things that we want to do through a lot of the programs and initiatives.
But you're going to have a clinic, right? You're going to have that big soccer clinic.
Indeed, we are. So we're approaching 1 year out, which is, of course, like it's always been a countdown. We have the clock in our heads, but we're talking about 365 days away from the first ball being kicked here in North America, and then on the 14th it'll happen in Philadelphia. And so we are going to celebrate that in a number of different ways. But in our world, we're going to do this exciting Community Day event at University of Pennsylvania in partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And
you're talking to Marcus, my man Marcus Allen.
Oh yeah,
the best.
Love Marcus.
Yeah,
Great guy.
CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters, does great work.
Indeed. And so we're really excited to just provide some of the amazing participants in that organization the opportunity to just have a good time. We'll have live music. We'll have a DJ. We'll have food trucks. We'll have some cool prizes to give away at the end of the event. But again, it's all about just raising excitement and awareness about all the cool things that are coming ahead in the next year and change.
Yeah, that's the thing we can't wait for.
Because I just want to party.
Yeah,
I like
well,
to
that's
party,
it.
I want to know what countries
said.
are coming.
Yeah, like Meg said, we're going to have 40 days of partying
Okay.
over on Lemon Hill.
So you heard a little bit about Lemon Hill.
Oh, yeah. We can't wait for that.
It's in the calendar.
Hey, I mean, it's, again, I could keep on saying like once in a lifetime, unparalleled, but the fact is, as it stands today, we're the only host city in North America that is planning to execute a fan fest throughout the duration of the entire World Cup. And that's not just in Philadelphia. We're talking from June 11th to July 19th. And so statistics show that 70 to 75% of travelers are not going to have a ticket. So why not come to a free event that has massive screens where you can watch the game, food and beverage, installations, activations, local flair associated with it. It's easily accessible, but it's also like eco-friendly and walkable. We're thinking about, we're very focused on temporary inconveniences in the near neighbors, so we're maximizing connectivity with them to make sure like we're very proactive in addressing concerns that they have. But the reality is we don't want cars zooming up and down Kelly Drive and up towards Lemon Hill. We want people to be able to access it comfortably and safely. And so, I mean,
You know what I love about this, and one of the things that I love going to Europe. I it's magical, right? Because it's so old, and the experiences and the whole thing. But one of the things that their culture that I love about it is it's a walking culture, right?
It is.
These cities are walking cities. You go to Rome and you're walking for miles, right? Like, and you're not thinking about it, right? Because you're walking from whatever neighborhood in Rome, and it's a vast city, right? Philadelphia is a walking city. When you're in this city, you mentioned Lemon Hill, right? And you're going basically behind the Art Museum to it's not it wouldn't be a big deal for people who come to visit to walk from that fan fest to the lake.
A couple miles is literally a walk in the park for them,
right?
For the average traveler from abroad, and so that was certainly something on our mind when we.
And this is a great walking city.
It is.
Like dude, I could tell you how many times I walked from South Philly to Broad Street to Center City, right? Like, you walk down Passyunk or you walk down Broad Street, right? Whatever. It's a great walking city, man. It's a gem. They stop it here. There's a million restaurants, bars, whatever.
And you know what? One of the main reasons, and there's many reasons why, and it reminded me of it. I did the Broad Street run this past year.
Yeah.
5th time I did it. Don't ask me how much average
Hey,
time.
God bless you did it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Father Time's undefeated. What can I say, man? But it's flat. You have like a little incline here, a little incline there, but for the most part, it's flat, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
When you talk about walkability, it's and Lemon Hill, of course, has it in its name, but it's not unreasonable. So to your point, I think people will adapt very comfortably.
And think about it, right? Like, we're a grid. You can't get an easier city to navigate because we're a grid with a major thoroughfare, Broad Street, right? With numbered streets that go north and south, right? Like, it's because we're a grid, it's easy to navigate for first timers who come here. Listen, I've been in cities all over the world, and you go, where the hell am I? And now, obviously, with your phone, it's easy to get around. But we're an easy, walkable city. We need to take advantage of that.
But traffic-wise, like if you're in New York, you got to go to East Rutherford. Like you can actually, I don't go to a lot of Eagles games. I go tailgate. You can go tailgate a World Cup event and be back at Lemon Hill in 20 minutes and not have to drive.
100%.
Yeah.
And you bring up a good point, too, when it comes to Philadelphia as a hub for guests that are coming to enjoy the World Cup. Think about the Super Bowl, 2 to 3 days. You talk about the World Cup, 2 to 3 weeks. These are professional traveling fans. And so they want to set up shop in somewhere that is easily, they can move around from there. And the fact is, the closest host city to the south of us is Atlanta. The closest host city to the west of us is Kansas City. And of course, the finale's taking place at MetLife. But to your point, you could probably get there easier from Center City than you could from across town.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Not to mention like the cost of lodging and all those other sort of...
the lodging in New York City is outrageous these days.
Exactly. So we envision and we're excited to welcome guests that are not just going to be hanging out for a couple days, but for an extended period of time, and they'll be able to pick up on all the rich culture and unique identity that the city has to offer. Not to mention the food. I mean, come on.
We're the best.
Yeah.
We're the best when it comes to...
Dude, I can't wait to see the list of countries just so I can start piecing out the restaurants that I want to go hang out at in conjunction. Especially if you do like Eastern Europe, like Northeast Philly is killing it with Eastern European food right now.
No question. I mean, again, there's so much representation throughout the city. To your point, Northeast Philadelphia, of course, you have Chinatown, you have the African and Caribbean community in Southwest Philadelphia, and the list really goes on. So there will be organic connectivity when it comes to that sort of traveler familiarity, because they probably have a cousin that lives here or a friend. So there's going to be that degree or two of separation that'll naturally, make that harmonious.
Yeah, I can't
we're
wait.
Do our part
I'll be honest with you. I can't wait until they announce the countries that are going to be here.
You and I.
That's going to be December 9th, I think.
I don't believe we have an exact date, but early-ish December is the expectation.
Yeah, I can't wait about that's going to be awesome, man.
Is it ever?
Host coming in, the Dutch are coming in.
That's all I wanted, the Dutch.
He wants the Dutch.
I want to be the Amsterdam ambassador.
He wants to see the Orange Crush.
Orange Parade down Broad Street, yes.
I love that. Yeah, that'll be a big moment for us, too, because, I mean, look, I call it a marathon sprint to this thing.
Yeah.
But the fact is, once we find out what teams are going to be here, it'll give us some additional clarity on how to prioritize and respond accordingly to making this the best experience for everybody.
That's fantastic.
So for the parties and stuff, will there be someone like a Questlove coming in to help organize like music and festivities like that?
You bring up a great point, and of course, Philadelphia is home to just legendary artists. We were so fortunate to have DJ Jazzy Jeff as the architect for our Sonic ID. So the Sonic ID is this universal melody that FIFA provided that each host city was able to remix.
That's cool.
Oh yeah,
So there's a Philly remix.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
And so who else than Jazzy would do it? And
Perfect.
of course, it's such a, I mean, no bias. I think it's the best. it pays homage to the Gambles and Huff as well as like the.
Well, I was going to mention about the Philly sound.
Yeah,
right. Like we got to bring back the Philly sound.
Indeed, we
for
do.
this because it's such a. I'm proud of the Philly sound.
No question. But to your
All
point,
of our parents grew up listening to that. We grew up listening to that.
that's right. Yeah,
You know?
I was fortunate enough to have that same sort of intro to music.
Yeah.
Like the soul of the '70s.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Teddy P.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
You
yeah.
kidding
Oh
me?
yeah. My
I
parents.
know, to this day, it's my happy place listening to that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Questloves, the Roots, the Jill Scotts. We're of course working with Jazzy. Like we're whenever and wherever possible, we're certainly looking to engage with local talent. You got up and comers like Chill Moody that are doing great things in the city as well in a variety of different ways. You know, more to come. Certainly wouldn't mind connecting the Roots picnic. So we'll see about that. You know, so other things we certainly have on the top of our list when it comes to partnerships and alignment to really just celebrate and highlight all the amazing things that Philly has to offer.
All right. For people to know the schedule, what's coming up, any information, you know, especially when it comes to you're all about how it's going to impact the people.
Sure.
So what do they do? Where do they go?
Right. So the World Cup is a year and a few weeks away, but you can get a nice preview this summer because there are 8 games for the Club World Cup taking place at the link. And so from June 16th to July 4th, there are 8 matches. So the 16th through the 28th every other day. And then there'll be a culminating game on the 4th of July. So, again, another preview because, I mean.
Do we know who the teams? We know the
we
teams?
do. Yeah. So you have I know we have Manchester City, PSG, Real Madrid. So we got some heavy hitters that are going to be in town. Yeah. And for us, it gives us a unique opportunity to activate in different spots throughout the city. So in the very near future, we'll be announcing exactly where, but we're going to be in North Philly. We're going to be in Center City. We're going to be in South Philly. We're going to be in West Philly. Making sure that everybody has a chance to have a good time.
That's
and
awesome,
get a little glimpse
man.
into all the fun that's to come. Yeah, we're excited about
I
that.
love that. And I know you got a couple of tickets that we're going to be giving away next week. We're going to make a big deal out of this because getting tickets to the
World Cup tickets?
Yeah, these are for they're coming up.
for the club?
June 16th.
Nice.
For the Club World Cup.
Nice.
Jonathan just mentioned it.
Yeah.
PSG, Real Madrid. All right, like this is a big deal.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a couple tickets giveaway next week. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, we're appreciative of the platform, so it's our pleasure to be.
Oh, this is awesome, dude! I love like our city being on the grand stage, and to me, I think it's our duty to help get the word out, to help mobilize our people, because it's going to be an awesome time.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. Now, going back to the first sentiment I offered, Meg and I met during the papal visit. At the time, that was, the standard for major events, right? And so now, fast forward 10 years, with all due respect, and to the Catholic Church and Pope Francis, may God rest his soul, this is going to be a much more significant and all-encompassing experience from a pure tourism standpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
and so
you're bringing in the world here.
Yeah, and so whether you're a fan, a Philadelphian, a small business, like embrace this moment.
Yes.
Don't escape this moment. This is not the time to go down the shore. It's not
Right.
the time to, travel elsewhere or stay in your house or Airbnb your place. You want to say that I was here when the World Cup came to Philadelphia and I had A, B, and C moment that I will never forget.
Yeah, it's one of those, think about it. It's one of those tentpole moments, right? Like Live Aid, like all these things, except it lasts.
That's correct.
Right? Yeah. Like for the last 40
and it's
days.
a way to almost travel, because my favorite part about traveling is just being embedded with the people and the culture.
Right.
So you'll have all these people from different countries coming here, and you can hang out with them and see what it's like in their culture and stuff. Yeah.
And nothing better about it when you meet these people and you connect.
Mm-hmm.
Because all human beings want is to connect with another human being, right? Truthfully.
Yes.
Nothing warms your heart than you go, oh, man, what a nice guy, man. That was cool. Like,
Yes.
and especially someone different, right? Like a different culture. It's awesome.
What brings people together better than sports?
Nothing.
I think it's going to be important when they arrive, though. Everyone should be taught that when all else fails, just say "Go Birds"
Oh man,
to Philadelphia. It should be like,
That'll be,
Amen.
we'll do a whole.
Yeah.
We're going to do a whole video about welcome to Philadelphia and customs that you need to know, and go like greetings and everything else.
Go Birds has evolved into a noun. I feel like it's a person, place, and thing.
yeah.
and a greeting
Well, I
and
always
a
say that
salutation. and goodbye.
Philadelphia is an adjective. Are you like Philadelphian? That's
Yep.
Philadelphian.
No
It's like
question.
an adjective. Like, you know what that, if I say that's Philadelphia, like that's an adjective.
Philadelphia, go Birds, John. That's like the trifecta.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. The John thing's crazy because, like, I'm old, right? So in the 90s, man, we were saying John, and then it came back.
Oh.
And then it came back and it went to another level.
I was about to say with a whole fury.
Yeah, crazy.
Hey, we got one question from Sammy from England. He wants to know: are they planning on separating fans during the games during the World Cup in sections?
That is a good question, Sammy. TBD on.
All right, we'll get back to you. We're gonna have
yeah.
someone every week coming in. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to enlist Sam too because Sam is in England. He's one of our correspondents from England.
Oh, I love that.
And he's a huge soccer fan, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the cool things about the city, too, is that we have existing soccer bars. So, of course, you want everyone to have a good time at Lone Hill, but after you're partied out, you just want to unwind. There's soccer bars in Center City, Northeast Philly,
over,
Southwest, and everywhere in between.
Yeah.
We can go and have that experience, too, with your fellow fans, with meeting new fans, all that good stuff. And then who knows where you'll stumble into after that. Like, what I tell people is you're going to have these prepared and planned moments, but then there's always going to be those unexpected and organic experiences that you're going to have just from the sheer volume of activities that are going to be taking place next summer.
Totally. My man, I got to tell you, what a pleasure. Great to meet you, Jonathan. I mean,
Likewise.
really, great to meet you. We're excited to partner up with you guys. All right, each week, someone from your organization is going to join the show, talk about this. We're counting down, man. We love it.
Yeah.
The countdown
We
is
love
on.
Megan.
Yeah, Megan is the best. Always shout out. Yes, for sure. But no, I really appreciate the invitation and, look forward to continuing.
Whatever you
the
need
good
from
times
us,
rolling.
we're there, all right?
Appreciate that. Right back at you.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks,
Jonathan
man.
Todd, amazing dude. I love, fantastic. Freaking love this thing. All right, brother. Great to see you, man. And we'll have a beer at the airport. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's take care of some business, shall we? Let's talk about a little how about a little Pabst Light?
Oh yeah, you guys talking? I'm ready for beer. There,
You ready for? Actually, you look for your. Oh, you got it?
Yeah,
All right,
I'm ready
let's
to
do it. Get a beer. We're talking beers.
Talking beers. I love talking beers. Pabst Light. It's like a dream come true. It's a good beer that's good for your waistline. And when you get a little older, you got to worry about these things. So Pabst Light. It's a new light modern beer from Pabst Brewing Company. It's only 96 calories. It's only 3.5 grams of carbs. It's full of crisp, refreshing, good light flavor. They use high quality ingredients so you get that high quality beer at a smart, reasonable price. And it retains that fun, independent spirit Pabst is known for, but it's light, man. It's good light beer, which is hard to find these days, and Pabst Light's bringing it. So learn more about the new Pabst Light at PabstLight.com. Please drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or older to enjoy this good-tasting light beer.
It is a tasty beer. It's
I
a
dig it,
tasty
yeah.
beer. All right, let's talk a little bit about Parks Casino. Here we go. Just announced Classic Rock, Kansas.
Carry on your wayward son. There'll be dreams when you are done.
You do well at like changing your voice,
Yeah.
like going up and down, and he does a good job with that. Doesn't
Yeah, it was
he, Bot?
impressive. Yeah.
Thanks for helping me out, Tyler.
The bot's not singing. Bot, you want to sing?
Not publicly, no.
Okay. Joe, you want to sing, Joey? You will? You going to sing? I don't know. If you know the song, then jump into the mic. Parks Casino, our casino of choice, has it all. Action, excitement, headline entertainment, thousands of hot slots, state-of-the-art sportsbook, beautiful poker room, all-weather beer garden, collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Tickets are also on sale now for these headliners. May 30th, country artist Ashley McBride.
Never wanted to be that girl. Never wanted to hate myself. You're a country guy. Come on, Joey.
You know that? You know Ashley McBride? You know Ashley McBride?
No.
All right, June 6th, Taj Mahal, Kembo.
I woke up this morning, mama. I had them Statesboro blues. Statesboro, Georgia, that is.
July 3rd, Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old flat top. He come grooving up slowly.
You just got to say it like that. July 12th, comedian Mark Norman. July 18th, Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, that's the way. I like it.
He likes that one. UB40, September 6th.
Red wine.
Australia, Pink Floyd, September 20th.
Hello. Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me.
It's not fair. He like practices it or something.
He's good at it. November 15th, Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers. That's right, Bill Murray. A night of blues and old-time rock and roll.
Dude, you can't roll with a night of Bill Murray.
Don't forget dinner and drinks for the show. Libertyville Gastropub, Beer Garden, Parksville Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's, ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now, Thursday treat with our man Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
That's it. From the editor's desk.
Extra, read all about it.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. It's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McClune.
Good morning, Pat.
What's up, Pat?
How are you, boys? It's damp and dreary outside, but there's a lot of it's sunny side up on a lot of fronts in Philadelphia sports. So let's have at it.
So wait, is this what it's like in Ireland?
Yes, very much so. Yes. Yeah, I've been lucky. I've been there 3 times, and I don't know that I've had a real drop of rain over there, which is impossible. But yeah, for the most part, damp and dreary. Yes.
Yeah, I could imagine. Like it feels like this would be it. It's a great. I used to love. Like I'm working on a writing project. I love days like this, Pat, because I could just sit and I don't know. I felt like I wasn't missing anything outside. Maybe.
Oh, I totally get that.
And I
I
could sit and
Yes.
The rain is the water. I don't know what it is. It's soothing. I could think.
Yeah.
And it just, I love to write in this weather. That's why all the greatest writers are from Ireland.
Yeah, a lot of time indoors. I went over there. I went over like September. I was completely dressed inappropriately. Had to buy a jacket for the rain and stuff.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it rained like 5 out of 7 days.
My brother,
There you go.
get it started, baby.
Lot going on, boys. I've got Eagles, NFL, Phillies, MLB, and NBA. What do you say we start with NBA?
Dude, Pat, are you kidding me? Last night, the Pacers? That was awesome.
When you and I checked base, and I checked base with Tyler, I had the NBA in a certain way, and that'll be a bit of the conversation. But that game that was one for the ages last night.
Oh, my God, yes.
I gave up on it and went back to the Phillies, but I got back in plenty of time. I mean, just a couple of quick things here, guys. The Knicks are up 121 to 112 with 55.9 seconds left.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, there's a lot of people out there that did it, so it's hard to tell. A guy got it from a guy named Nate Duncan. But how about this number? In the history of the NBA and its playoffs, a team that was up more than 14 points in the final 250, heading into last night, those teams were 977 and 0.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
977?
In this situation, in 978 teams that the team lost. And the whole game was wild. And I mean, my headline for this was When New Stars Are Born. And it's kind of apropos, and we got SGA there. But I'll tell you one thing that jumped out to me yesterday, and I'm sure you guys remember it, and I was very adamant about it at the time, and I never get anything right. The Sixers had a number of ways to go when they were trading Ben Simmons. The first offer they got that was kind of a beg on then Sacramento's part, they were offered Tyrese Halliburton for Ben Simmons.
Now,
and
let me ask you a question. Was that true? Because
I very much believe it was.
Yeah, because you can't trust them because they said no, that was never on the table. No. But you're not going to trust that. I mean, think about that. Halliburton, he could have been here. You want to talk about wanting to just scream at that franchise? How many times they bleep up? And you're watching Halliburton play hero last night? He's playing Reggie Miller in the Garden.
Unbelievable. And he wasn't really Halliburton at the time, and he was still with Sacramento, but the possibility was there. And it was the notion about whether you give up Simmons for a young up-and-coming athlete or you give him up. What's happened too much is the Sixers have opted for the old semi-washed player like Harden and Paul George. And then here's another phenomenon with the Sixers that drives me crazy. What is it that when guys come in here, they kind of don't produce, and then they have a history of producing. They come here and don't produce, then they move on, and they get, it's almost like they get cured again. It's like they went to Lourdes after the Sixers. You look at Harden, still an all-star. He drove me crazy.
Dude, Pat, you're right. He actually played well. He played his regular season. He still chokes in the playoffs because that's his DNA. But he had a great season. Way better. Right. Like, Paul George was just an embarrassment, right? Harden was good. Like, he was really good. Oh,
right.
There's something going on, man. Is it Camden? They need to get the facility out of Camden. Like, what's going on with this team and these players? There's something not
the other
right.
One, the one guy that's a gigantic hate-the-face guy for me is Al Horford, who totally laid down that 1 year with the Sixers.
He was washed here, you thought.
6 or 7 years ago, and he's still going somewhat strong up in Boston. That guy ticks me off to no end. And you got to think that if they were somehow able to get rid of the albatross that is Paul George, and Paul George moved on somewhere else, he'd become Paul George again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
no doubt. No doubt. Paul George leaves, and all of a sudden he's
22 and 12.
Yeah.
But where do you stand on the playoffs, guys, in the sense that the 4 teams left, 3 of the 4 have never won it. And the other one, the Knicks, has won it, but they haven't won it in 52 years. The last year they won. So you have these teams, and the league, probably not the markets, as opposed to a Boston Denver, a Boston Lakers.
I love it. I prefer this.
I like this. I do too.
I prefer this. First of all, I hate the Celtics. I don't want to see Boston raise another banner.
Right.
I'd rather the Knicks. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Knicks hater. I don't hate them. I don't. I gotta be honest with you.
I kind of had that moment. I don't hate the Knicks. When I see the Knicks uniform and stuff, I hate the fans, though. I hate the celebrity fans.
Yeah.
I just don't want the celebrity fans to have their day.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than the fact that LD and Susie Essman were sitting next to each other, that warmed the cockles of my heart. Those two can do whatever they want. And then they bring all these, and these celebrities are all kind of wannabes. They weren't there on a Thursday night against the Grizzlies, and now it's all that kind of show. But, my thing is that in my perfect world, if Bridges, Josh Hart, and Brunson were playing for the Raptors, then I could be all in. But I can't get too heavy in the Villanova thing when they're with the Knicks. They're with the New York team. But, I
get it. Yeah, I get that.
I got to tell you, it's the first time I think Brunson looked gassed last night.
Yeah.
I mean, he still had 40
He had a couple lazy fouls. Not lazy, but fouls because he was tired. Yep.
And then what they wound up doing is they were getting Nebhard at the end and trying to isolate because they knew he could take Brunson because Brunson couldn't afford that 6th foul. But the other thing about Brunson is that, you could have that guy run a marathon and put him on the foul line and he would just suck up the fortitude to make the foul shots. He's still banging those free throws or whatever. But,
he's ridiculous, though, too. 43. Like 43. He's got a big heart. Like, he's a terrific
You're killing me, Pat, because I had to go back. I got a second source this, but January of 2022, Bleacher Report, the Kings have reportedly considered a trade package of Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, and 2 first-round picks for Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Thibault.
Wait, that was on the table?
Yes. Halliburton, Heald, Harrison Barnes, and 2 first-round picks.
Wait, they were going to give 2 first-round picks?
Yes, in exchange for Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Matisse Thibault.
And so
according to Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Well, I trust Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to, I remember being close to Keith on that and saying, Keith, that's the way you got to go. And, we were kind of having back and forth about that. But it just goes to show you, and even the Sixers say that's not the case. If they had that kind of deal on the table, well, maybe you throw off one of the first-round picks and one of the players. But Halliburton was very much available for Ben Simmons.
Oh, my God. But you could have traded Tobias Harris,
Can I
too?
also add this? Pompey noted the Sixers weren't interested in the package and added, quote, sources have repeatedly said the Sixers are not interested in a deal involving De'Aaron Fox unless he's shipped to a third team. Who is running this franchise?
How long ago was that?
2022.
So who was the GM? Was it
Morey, wasn't it?
Was it Morey 2022?
I think Morey's here 2022.
Well, look what they did. They traded for Harden. So
It had to be Morey. Yeah.
They traded for Harden.
Oh, my God. 2 first-round picks, too.
Right.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh.
One of the things I'm holding on to with the Sixers is, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about this between now and next month, is Morey's hit on draft picks that were way in the 20s. He's hit on Maxey and McCain, so maybe he knows who the number 3 guy is. I have my own theories about that.
I got to tell you, though, I don't give him credit for that. I don't.
Okay.
Only because I thought Maxey was obvious. All right?
Right.
So I do. I thought he was obvious. So I was, the draft's going on. I'm going, oh, my God, Tyrese Maxey's going to fall.
That's exactly what happened with me. I was with my youngest son, Tom. He really knows his stuff. They got to the 10th pick, and he started saying, I can't believe Tyrese Maxey's here. It's a shame the Sixers don't have the 13th pick. They might be able to get him.
Exactly.
And they kept going and going. He says, well, the next team's going to take Maxey. The next team's going to take Maxey. And then when the 19th pick, he was just jumping, and he knew Maxey a lot better than I did. But he and you were right on the money. Boom.
No, I mean, listen.
The point is that it was a fall into your lap pick.
Yeah, but listen, God bless him. He did the right thing. He took him, right? So I'm not killing him for that. But I'm not going to go, wow, he's some genius because, I didn't think it was I thought it was pretty obvious. McCain, I'll give him credit for. I want to connect. I still think Connect was a better fit for that team. And Connect was, I think Connect also could play. But McCain's a player. So whatever. I'll give it to him. But I don't think
for the guy that likes that, because I'm going to do one old man moment over the time. And God bless him, because I think he's a great player. He's hard-nosed or whatever. Whatever he does in that respect's fine. But I had to laugh this week when McCain got that new line of nail polish with Sally Hansen to wonder about whether Jerry West or, Walt Frazier ever had a nail polish line back in the day, I'm not so sure they had the foresight to come up with their own deal for nail polish,
I'm a fan of it, Pat. I like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look, it's coming along. I know it's there. And who would have thought the NBA and Sally Hansen had a little bit of a synergy there?
Yeah. I have a tough time.
I've had the video loaded all week trying to find time to play for Anthony.
Yeah, I know he likes it. I don't, but whatever.
Right. But what happens here with this guys is that you just see the youth and the energy of these new teams.
Yes.
And that's where, the Sixers, it's going to take, they got to get young and athletic to compete in this league anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear you.
KD's coming.
Wait, the greatest is that trade. Are you stupid? There were people who actually wanted to do this trade. It was the Sixers give up George and the number 3 pick for Durant. I'm like, what? And then people are going, well, you get out of the George contract. So what? The whole idea is you got to start collecting players, right? Like, we're getting out of the contract for what? To go back and fail again in free agency?
Right. And that's what was so great about the Cooper Flag thing, if that ever came. and fell in our lap is at that point, you could really make the argument that you could just build the team moving on from Embiid. Yeah, I mean, you can't now.
Right.
And, listen, I hope, God bless him, I hope that whatever's going on with that thing or whatever, that, I wish him nothing but the best of health and a chance to come back and prove himself. But that could be tough.
We got a super chat from Brandon Nam who joins us. He says Halliburton was on Paul George's podcast for a few years ago when he was with the Kings, and he thought he was going to the Sixers. And also, yes. Pat Futz chimes in the chat that the players are wearing Skims these days, Pat. So we're well past the nail polish. Shapewear.
What is Skims?
Skims is a Kim Kardashian underwear and shapewear company that has partnered with the NBA, WNBA. So
which is like
many athletes are now endorsing and wearing Skims products. They have I think they have undershirts that'll suck your gut in a little bit.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Well, listen, somebody I don't know that they have a big enough
skin. Whatever.
They're like Spanx for guys can wear the Skims.
God, dudes wear that?
Yeah, dudes wear the Skims.
Yeah, I'd be happy if they send one for me. Size is too big. I'll come in looking lean and mean the next week if I can get up.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we got to get you a Skims deal.
Yeah, he'd be all swole looking.
Coming in like, hey. It's Pat from the editor's desk.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey.
He's like curling some dumbbells while he's talking.
Like a pint of beer.
Previously bought by Tarleton Cigarettes, now we're with Skims. We're evolving.
What is
so anyway? And the other thing, the last thing on Halliburton is just the killer mentality of getting that ball and just pulling it out and saying, "I'm going for the win." And boy, he would have looked bad when he went to the throat, and it was only a 2, but they won it in overtime. So both series could be great. It could be, a lot of high flying and high energy that we're not used to seeing and that we can hope for coming down the road with the Sixers.
Yeah. I have no hope with them, so I'm just leaving it at that. I'm about to. Yeah, I'm this close.
I'm with you.
I'm this close to just. I don't. They might be I might be at my worst ever with that team. Like, I'd never thought about abandoning a team, really. Like, we've been down, the Eagles and this. Never, but now I'm over them. Like, I think I hate them. I'm
ready to get on the Philadelphia Supersonics.
I hate them. I hate the Sixers. I can't, I'm either going to get this tattoo. I have a Sixers tattoo on my back, and I think I'm going to get it covered up.
Oh, we do a laser, or you cover it up with a new tattoo?
No, a new one.
Ooh. A big head of Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Fangio
head? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What's our next headline?
All right, next we're going to go MLB, and the headline there is survival of the weakest. And this will tie in a little bit to the Phillies, but my God, guys, the haves and have-nots in baseball are at an all-time chasm. An all-time chasm. That Rockies team that the Phillies are going to play today is 8-41, playing 163 baseball. At that pace, Anthony, they're going to win 26 games.
Oh, my God.
26 and 136. The worst team in baseball history was last year.
White Sox.
That White Sox team. 41 and 121. The Rockies are on a pace to be 15 games worse.
Oh, man.
Than the all-time bad team in baseball.
I mean, 41 was outrageous. I mean, what's the next step? The Sixers? 9-73?
Yeah. And things are looking up for Pope Leo's club. They won 41 last year. They're on a pace to win 49 this year.
All right.
They're playing 300 ball over there on the south side, But let's line this up, guys. I took a little look at this, all right? On one hand, you have the haves, and let's look at this from an attendance perspective. You have the Dodgers in order, attendance. You have the Dodgers, Yankees, Padres, Phillies, and Mets. Now, from the bottom up in attendance, you have the Rays, the A's, the Marlins, the White Sox, and the Pirates. Now, granted, the Rays and A's are playing at Fugazi Fields in that, the Rays are at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa because the roof blew off, and the A's are playing a year in Sacramento before they get to Vegas. But just to show you how this just doesn't add up, the Dodgers' attendance is a little over 50,000 a game. The Rays' attendance is barely over 10.
Wow.
If you take the difference in attendance of 40,000 plus and look at an average ticket of $40, which is low, over 81 games, the Dodgers are making $131 million more than the Rays.
Wow.
That's without concessions.
If you put it at 75, which you throw in parking and concessions, which I say is still low as an average, the difference is $245.6 million from the Dodgers to the Rays. It's just totally out of control.
That's outrageous.
And these, and look, the Phillies are feasting. You got to do it. Oh, well, look at it. But you know what? You got to feast on these bad opponents.
Yeah. I mean, last night, there looked like there was 3 people there last night.
Right.
I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, you turn the game on, you're like, what the freak? Like, this is Denver, right?
Yeah.
Like, I covered games at Coors Field. I mean, it was 3 people there. Like, I don't blame them. Like, who wants to go see that crap? Yeah. But it's
right.
Those empty
and as
seats.
bad as they are, they're viable. At least they're viable. They draw okay when and they spend money. The Rockies, they just have a pitiful team right now. But you look at them and the White Sox. Then you look at the attendance. I didn't even get into looking at. But we just talked about the attendance. Let's take that attendance and put it in terms of payroll. Of the top 5 attendance teams, 4 of the 5 are the top 5 payrolls. Of the bottom 5 attendance team, all 5 are bottom 5 in payroll.
Do you remember I was arguing with Jimmy? You remember I was arguing with Salisbury with Stakes
about what?
About about rev sharing and a cap, and you can't have Pirates exist with the Dodgers, or let alone the Rays, or like you said, the Marlins.
Right?
They can't exist in the same league. This has been an issue forever, and I know the Players Association are the most powerful in all sports, but it's a disgrace. It's not a good product. You need some sort of equity.
It always brings up too the beauty of international soccer and the relegation. If you're a White Sox or Rockies in international soccer, you're not playing in the major leagues next year. You're gonna have to work your way back up. There's some beauty to that, I think.
No, there is. It's fiscally impossible for the states to have something like that in MLB.
Yeah.
What they really need to do is go fix their sport and go the NFL model. You got to fix the sport. You can't have, the White Sox, look at all the talent that's left there. We talk about the White Sox. I mean, they got a lot of talent that they just had to trade.
Right. And the Marlins franchise is, the Phillies are the beneficiaries of that with Luzardo this year.
Yes.
Going down and getting them.
Yes. I mean, it's not right. I love the being a have, but the sport itself suffers. You can't, who's watching Phillies rock other than us because we love the pounding of a bad team. But, who's watching that?
Right.
I don't even think anyone in
And
Colorado is
did I see
watching.
this wrong? But I looked it up. Did I see that Taiwan Walker's ERA is 2.97?
Yeah. So tell them the story about the pitch count.
Oh, I had a 5-leg parlay last night. The only thing I needed was 4 strikeouts from Taiwan. He finally got him in what, the 5th inning? He got 2 in the 5th?
Something like that.
Yeah, and then they take him out. He has 68 pitches. No idea why they took him out of the game. The Phillies are playing back-to-back games. Let the bullpen
For
relax.
a little while he was in the bullpen there, and he maybe wasn't
Stretched out all the way.
stretched out to 80 or 90 pitches.
I don't know.
But I meant to string together the ERAs, but I got to think that his ERAs probably we know it's better than Nola.
It's 2.97.
And Rangers just getting going. It might be better than Sanchez.
Hey, we might be able to move him for a relief pitcher. He keeps this up at 2.97 ERA.
All right. What's our next
I got
headline?
you guys, real quick, I got you guys here. The power rankings just came out on ESPN. MLB. Where are the Phils?
1.
Tigers are 1.
2.
Dodgers 2. Phillies 3.
How did Dodgers 2?
I don't know. They just gave up 30 runs in 30 innings.
Dodgers have not been playing good ball. That's crazy. All right, what's our next headline?
Easy segue to the Phillies, if you don't mind. Their headline there is the merry month of May. I mean, look at where we were on April 24th, right after that Mets series. They are 13-12, 5 games back, the 7th best record in the National League. And now, they're 1.5 games ahead. And they have the 2nd best record in the league. So the month of May has been very kind to the Phillies.
Well, couldn't you say that they are the monsters of May? Last year,
yes.
It was a mighty May. We could do the alliteration all day long.
Yes. Maybe we should have a May procession for them.
Are you guys concerned about being 13-15 against teams over 500?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
We both did it the same way.
I'll tell you what. One thing that stuck in my craw, as I always evoke Rich Ashburn, is somebody's hot take people that tried to manufacture real anguish about Harper a little while ago.
Oh, how about that ridiculousness?
Really? Does he look frustrated? Sure. It's Bryce Harper. Is he going to fall off 4 years from now? Sure. But come on, man. There's a lot to see, a lot of stuff to worry about on other people. Can't you understand that Bryce Harper is going to struggle sometimes for 10 days? And then, I was driving home.
No, he doesn't have any power.
Right.
That was a joke. I'm listening to the radio one day. I hear somebody say that. I'm like, what are you freaking nuts? Watch the sport.
The easy go to the hot take on Harper. I was driving back. I was out little pizza run with guys I grew up with last night, and it was great driving home. Not great driving home in the rain and slop, but I was driving home from Northeast Philly, and I had the game on. It was great listening to the game. And when Harper came up the time after he'd hit the home run, apparently, and you guys probably saw this, but I was in the car. Apparently, that guy laid a pitch that Harper thought he could have rocketed another one. And he hit it foul, and he stepped out of the box, and he took like a vicious swing. And then on the next one, he kind of flew out or whatever, and he was so ticked off.
Yeah.
He was visibly ticked off. And they were making the point, Fransky and Kevin Stocker, which I thought was cool and right on the money, that's a great sign. He's been hot, and he's so locked in now, hot take, folks, that he was like aggravated that he didn't get to that pitch that he should have drilled somewhere. And that was great.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, I leading up to this streak, he was hitting the ball. He was hitting line drives. He was hitting the ball in the screws. He just wasn't getting a lot of lift. I mean, sometimes he was I saw 3 or 4 of his outs were screaming line drives that were in center field. He was hitting the ball well. That's part of the game. At some point, they're all going to go.
Right. And, we knew this coming in, but the starting pitching is so good, guys, that you can kind of brush off whatever Nola's going through right now. I mean, Wheeler's very much Wheeler. Luzardo's one of the 5 pitchers in the league. He's going to make the All-Star team. And Ranger, his last 2 or 3 outings has been really dealing. And I mean, Sanchez has been fine. This start in Painter is coming along, and the thing with Abel, there's so many reasons to be happy. And when I first started putting together what I was going to do for the week, I thought the conversation would be on the headline of the week, which was Alvarado, which is, that's really disheartening. But they haven't lost since Alvarado got rung up. And it's going to be interesting. Now, I do want to ask you guys this. I'm of the belief that I don't want Dombrowski wildly overpaying for a reliever. I don't want them doing it. But, and I think you and I might have done this when it happened in the text initially. Your point, Anthony, was a great one. The Alvarado thing is terrible. But the reason why it's terrible really was they were slightly thin to begin with. So even if Alvarado went down as an injury, they could be okay, but they're not okay if they have another one on top of it. It just took away any margin of error.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Now, here's the thing. If you're starting pitching, we were talking about Walker, but Luzardo was fantastic the other night, right? Wheeler's terrific. I know Noel's got his issues, but even beyond that, I mean, look at it. The kid was good, right? Like, and
that's not the kid.
Wait till the kid exactly arrives. The fighting Phillies.
Right.
Are you kidding me? That rotation is just nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. It really is. It's really nasty. Yeah.
Man.
So,
And then, by the way, we're all surprised when there's no Schwarbaum. Like, that's the other thing. Like, he's unbelievable. I don't know. Bad teams are not. That lineup is nasty. Turner, look at how well Turner is.
He's turned into what we wanted him to be.
308 is back.
Causing havoc on the bases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we said he would, if he was the engine, Trey Turner.
You said that all spring training. Yep.
Turner hit a triple the other night, and it was a joy watching him. He was just he was flying, and it was effortless.
Yes.
He was really, really moving, and that was cool to see.
Yeah. Flying. Flying, Trey. All right. What's next?
Good times. All right. What we have left are the Eagles, which we, traditionally will save for last, in the NFL. And I threw this at you the other day that everything formal to the NFL season is over now until training camp. They've strung it along. This is actually the time next month where guys like Sirianni and Fangio get away for a little while after the OTAs and stuff. But the one thing that's kind of somewhat new is all the over-unders are out. And so the headline for this is overachievers and underachievers. And I like that. About this. We talked a little bit about this, but I just wanted to kick around. We all saw the over-unders. If there's any teams that grab you one way or the other on the over-unders.
Actually, can I make it a slight edit? Live?
Yeah.
The brain's coming up. Why don't we do the Eagles segment, do the commercial, then bring on the brain and do a little over-under action?
Ooh, sure.
You down?
Yeah, that's a good move. We can do that.
I'll play the editor. I'll play Pat. All right?
Nice.
All right.
Yes,
Go Birds. We'll do a commercial. Come back. Over-under action. We'll have the brain, you, VG.
All right.
And that shows a little agility. There we go.
Yes. All right. Birds.
All right. Well, on the Birds, when I was with my guys from Incarnation of Our Lord in Albany last night, I said, I have 2 headlines on the Tush Push. Do I lay it on the Packers or do I lay it on Roger? because if it was the Packers, it was going to be pack rats. But no, they said lay it on Goodell, and I'm with Pat Frain and the boys. So the headline there is Sorry, Roger. Because Anthony and VG, I very much buy into the thinking that this was Goodell driven.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This was Goodell driven.
Yeah. The Packers were the patsies.
About it, trying to sound diplomatic, but you know he wanted it out of there. And this idea of redrafting it or whatever. What the heck was going on with the pace of play edition here? What's that got to do with the pace of play? If anything, it moves the game along faster. When they got a tush push situation, they line right up and want to snap it quickly. That was the opposite of a pace of play issue. So, and I know you guys talked about it on Tuesday too, but the guy that goes, I don't know the guy's name, but goes by, he does a lot of good stuff, Coggin Toboggan around here, saying that the Eagles should have countered with that notion of banning the Lambeau leap. I love that.
That was genius. I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Safety. No leap.
No leap.
Take it out.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Fans get
Goodell
hurt.
uses the Packers, who have no owner, right? Uses them and Murphy, the rat, as the patsy.
And I will say, I was on Green Bay Packers Reddit. The fans aren't happy. The fans, they didn't care about the tush push. Like, they're not happy being used by this way.
Yeah.
And sorry, they're going to be shrapnel because we just have to take it out on them.
Reputation. You know, we talked about this before. You're the team of Bart Starr and Fuzzy Thurston and Forrest Gregg and Jerry Kramer banging over on the ice ball. And now you're the proponents of taking something takes toughness away from the league. Bad all around. Bad.
Horrible. Horrible. You're spot on. Spot on there.
And there was another thing that kind of went by quickly that I wanted to talk about is that I am so not in on this flag football at the Olympics. I mean, stop. I think it's awesome that it's coming up the ranks with young women. I mean, at the high school level and all, flag football's catching on. That's tremendous. And if you wanted to trot these guys out there and march and stuff, it's fine. But the Summer Olympics, A.J. Brown didn't want to answer the questions, so he threw out the camp, but he was right. How are they going to, and you know why they're doing it. They look at it as a global thing and that you can see these guys. But let's talk about the viability of it. How are you going to line up A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson with Patrick Mahomes and win that first round game against Denmark? Denmark's going to have a couple of guys to guard them. I mean, some things. I love the Olympics. I love the NFL. Everything's not meant to go together.
No.
And this idea of flag football in the Olympics with NFL players just doesn't make sense.
I'm with you. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of it. Listen, I think it's great for women. I think it's great for little kids just to learn the game and all. But I don't know. It's a bastardized version of the sport. There's no line play. It's not football, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, I live in the world with all these kids, right? And I'm not saying they shouldn't have it or shouldn't play. I think it's great. But I go to these flag football games, and half of it's a money grab, right? Like, there's 50 games going on, and, kids are doing their thing, and they last, 40 minutes, right? It's like, boom, the game's over. And I don't know. I tell Massimo and Anthony all the time, yo, guys, you play real football, and you're out there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, practicing, and for 2.5 hours leading up to a game. That says something. You're not practicing every night to go play a flag football game.
Right, yeah.
Do they have an interest in playing? Do they want to play flag?
Who?
Your boys.
Yeah, I mean, Massimo, he played with his buddies. You want to go play for your buddies? Go ahead. Mm-hmm. But my only point is, what you do work wise,
Right.
for real football means something. Like
And listen, guys, if you're a young guy and somebody trots out that you can get on that co-ed flag football team, you got to get involved in
Yeah,
that.
listen, I think it's great. Like, enjoy that. But like, Pat's right. It's not an Olympic sport, and it is what it is. All right, let's take care of some business. We'll come back. Over-unders with Pat and the Brain. All right, my man, take it away.
Let's do it. All right. Spring is here. Trees are blooming, flowers are blooming, and low prices are blooming over at Ashley Furniture. So it's a perfect time to spring into some savings at Ashley. Right now, you can save up to 50% off living room sets, bedrooms, dining rooms, and you can have it all delivered for free. Plus, you get the cool long-term, no-interest financing, and you can also save on top brand mattresses. And you get it free delivery with them, free setup, and the all-important free removal of the old mattress. But don't wait. You got to spring into savings now at Ashley South Jersey in Philadelphia. Financing is with approved credit. Minimum purchase required, and some exclusions may apply. See store for complete details. And hurry over to an Ashley South Jersey or Philadelphia store, or you can check them out at ashleyfurniture.com. And our friends over at TrueMark. TrueMark's doing HELOC May 2025. This month, they're doing HELOC special. So if you're working from home, it's time to stop calling plays from the couch. With a TrueMark Financial HELOC Select, you can tap into your home equity and finally upgrade that home office, build out a better space, finish projects you've been putting off, build a man cave, all that good stuff. And with a HELOC Select, you get a great low rate, flexible access, so you can pull the funds out all at once or when you need them. You get lower rates than most personal loans and no penalties if you want to pay it off early. So visit TrueMark.com/PHLY to apply and turn your work from home game into a winning play. Terms and conditions apply. Visit TrueMark.com/HELOC, HELOC for details. They are federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender, and MLS 404938. That is TrueMark.com/HELOC, HELOC for details.
I love it. Kelly Body's pumped up over the Phillies. We have two big deals today. The big deal, that's right, brought to us by Cherry Hill Mitsubishi. Obviously, the Tush Push is the big deal. That's the biggest deal.
Yes.
Is the Tush Push lives.
Tush Push lives. Hallelujah.
Long live the Tush Push.
Hallelujah.
Oh, I hate saying that. Long live the brotherly shove.
Yes.
And then the other thing, the big deal, Phillies in May. The bot brings up, bot's always on top of things, that the Phillies were 20-7 in May last year. Currently, they're 14-5.
They like May ball.
They are the monsters of May.
Yeah, I like it.
All right?
Yeah.
That's and that is
It's a good dig
big
by
deal.
Tyler. Yeah, this is a big deal.
Good job, bot. All right. Now let's join the editor and the brain.
Oh, boy.
Brain,
All right.
brain, 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 brain.
Red, the brain finder. Great Power Man 5000.
The editor.
song.
All right, brain. Look at the brain's look. What do you got, like a mustache going?
It's just, again, I'm lazy in terms of shaving. Pure laziness,
All right.
like no other adjective other than me being absolutely
He's
lazy.
got the good look. He's got the glasses.
And his hair's been really
Yeah,
good when he
take
when
the
he was
glasses
gone.
off.
He's got the
Or
glasses.
my
Oh,
reading
you look
glasses.
good. He's got the mustache
professorial
rolling.
with the glasses.
You know? Brain,
Was doing some work as we spoke.
Brain, I want you to
Adding
meet
some
a
Pepsi
legend, Pat McClune. You guys, I don't think I've ever met. And this is a
Pat.
monumental day.
I was just here to kind of goof around with something from the editor's desk, but now we're going to talk it among greatness.
Well,
I'm just goofing around here, Brad. I bat at greatness on these things.
You're talking greatness. You're definitely not talking me. But I'll tell you a quick story. I did live bet at one point the Knicks getting big when they were down a lot. I live bet them because I thought they'd come back. I'd live bet them when they were big underdog early in the first quarter. And I just kind of kept the bet, even though I liked Indiana in the game. But I'm like, all right, watching the game, Knicks were never, after I made that bet, they went on a run immediately. I turned it off with I turned it off, it was 119, 105, with about 2 minutes to go. I get a text from my friend, and I made a big bet on this. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I literally, after I finished vomiting, when I saw what happened, I thank God I got the text, and I then live bet Indiana at least broke even. But I could not believe I did not win that bet. When I say could not believe it, I then watched the whole the whole game. I recorded it, but I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that.
What? Let me ask you a question. When the Pacers are down 9 with 45 seconds or down 14,
they wouldn't even offer a money line. It wouldn't be offered.
Okay, there's no money line?
Because it's impossible. It's impossible.
How about when they're up
So they're not gonna
14?
even offer it.
When they're down 14, 3 minutes to go, no money
Not
line.
offer. You saw the stat. It's never happened before in the history of basketball. So it's like if they don't offer something, it can't happen. It wasn't even offered.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, it can't. And whatever they did offer, it would never be. I mean, it should be. It was 0-927 the last 20 years. So it's just when the team was down 14. I'm the most paranoid person who ever lived. No one could even tie me. Even I was like, all right, I got this one. And then thank God I got this text, because I wouldn't have even known. At least once that happened, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to lose on this game. I just immediately live bet Indiana and just said, all right. But because I thought the Knicks would at least come back in the first quarter, which they did. But then they never were trailing again. So I was like, all right, I think they actually are going to win watching this game.
So did you get the Knicks? So you live bet the Knicks plus money.
I bet the Knicks like plus $1.50 in the first quarter. Okay. And so I still made money on it because I then bet the Pacers in live betting. I think I was getting like
in
plus
overtime, you bet them?
Yeah, plus $1.20, something like that. So I still won, but it wasn't. I mean, I couldn't believe they came back like that. The Pacers have now, guys, won 3 games that were almost impossible to have happen. This game was the all-timer, but the Bucks game down 7,
Cleveland,
40 seconds to go. The Cavaliers game down, I think it was down 9 or with like a minute and something to go. I mean, they've won 3 games that arguably in the last 20 years in the NBA would be in the top 5 most unlikely comebacks. And they've got 3 of them in one postseason.
Wow. They're nuts. Mm-hmm. That's nuts. All right.
But it couldn't happen to a nicer team, no offense to anyone who's a Knicks fan.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to turn this over to the editor. All right? And the editor is going to go through the over-unders. Do you have, Brad, have you bet any over-unders so far?
In football?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Anthony, come on, stop it. Yeah, I bet I probably have, could actually look it up. But
I know you have. I just need to set it up on the tee for you to smash it down the fairway.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
So there you go, Pat. The brain has bet 14 over-unders, totaling more money than you and I have ever seen.
All right. Wow. Yes. Yeah. And since, just to give you the opposite, I think you guys know that the last time I bet on a game was with the Eagles and Mike Michel against Tampa Bay in like 1978. So
I actually remember Mike Michel. I actually remember that.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
Mike Michel, good name from the past.
All right. Now, my suggestion would be that we'll go through once and we'll come back one more time. Just everybody throw up, and we could duplicate here easily 2 that we really like. And I'll kick it off with that. I like, in the number I see with Bet Parks and other, I like the Rams at over 9.5 wins.
I agree with
that.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, that's the team that almost beat the Eagles. That's a team in a division that's got a couple of winnable games there with the Cardinals and 49ers. That's a team that's replacing Kupp with Devontae Adams, and I just think they have a lot of juice. I could easily see the Rams winning 10 games. So that's the first one I'll toss out. VG?
Yeah, I agree with that. That jumped out at me too. They seem like an 11-win team to me.
Yeah, I listen. I like that too, but I'll throw. I got to be different. I'm going to throw out the Vikings over 8.5. I think they're a 9-win team. I
was going to say under on the Vikings.
I like the Vikings over. Brain?
You believe
Vikings
in
over is my.
I believe in McCarthy. Yeah, I believe in what's around McCarthy. I believe in the defensive coordinator. I believe in O'Connell. I think that number's too low. I think they at least go 9-8.
That's my biggest bet by a mile that is so far. I have a zillion on the Vikings. That is my all-in team. I have them
Really?
I have them basically as good as any team in the NFL. So
he's got Ann Arbor glasses on.
Honestly, I did not. You and I did not talk about that.
Yeah,
I think, and I know it's a dumb comment. Outside of the quarterback, I think it's the best roster in the NFL. And then you say, okay, well, if you say outside of the quarterback, that makes no sense. But what I'm going to say is, I think McCarthy is going to be good. And I think this team, they won 14 games last year. I think they're better this year. And that doesn't mean I think they're going to win 15 games, but 8.5, I don't like it. I love it. I have a zillion on it. I have a ton on them to win the Super Bowl at 50-1, win the NFC at 25-1.
Oh, he froze?
Take you guys out for a nice meal.
Oh, he's there.
Okay. Yeah.
And how does that get established then? Vegas is never wrong. How do they land on 8.5?
Well, Vegas is definitely never wrong. I could tell you that. They're wrong certainly plenty. But look, listen, you have a team that loses their quarterback, right, Pat? And so because, look, they lose their quarterback, it's also not a glamour team. And I guess they're saying, listen, going to a rookie, unproven quarterback, you know, in a tough division. Again, it is a very, very tough division. And the schedule's hard, but I didn't mind their schedule in the sense that all their hard games, Pat, were at home. Look, the way to do this is to, you know, most people, when they look at a schedule, like, all right, here's a win, here's a loss. That's what the average person does, which I get it. But what you really have to do is you have to say, okay, if the Eagles are playing Dallas at home, and supposing it's a win for the Eagles, you have to say there's a 0.77% chance they're going to win that game. They're going to be about a minus 340 favorite. That translates to about 77%. And you have to do that for all 17 games, and then you come up with the total what the over-under should be. That's the quote-unquote professional way to do it. I think the Vikings are as good as anyone in the NFC, and they're not getting that kind of respect. We'll see how it plays out.
All right, Pat, you're up.
Yeah, I'm going to turn around the other way, and I'm going to go with an under. I'm going under the 49ers at 10.5. I don't get that at all.
I agree.
I also see the 49ers team as a team that is overpaid Purdy, overpaid at this point in his career Warner, and paid Kittle. I think I do not like the arc of where the 49ers are going, and I'm surprised that it's at 10.5. You know, I know they got the easy schedule, but I do not see the 49ers winning 11 games this year. Just do not see it.
I'm with you. I like the that's a good under.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I don't think the Niners are that good.
Yeah.
Shanahan's a little overrated, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Yeah, go ahead. You got an under?
That's my second biggest bet.
Wow.
The under on the Niners?
Look at it.
Look at
My
that.
second biggest bet is they're under. Yeah.
There you go.
You know, and it's funny. It's all, but Pat, you said it. It's all based on the schedule. But it kind of reminds me, if you remember last year's Falcons, which was I think it was right up there as my biggest bet. Last year I had the Falcons under 10.5. You looked at this, and I'm like, you know what? The schedule looks so freaking easy. I'm like, is this an 11-win team? I mean, I get you just never, no game is really that easy to win in the NFL, right? It's even, usually teams are at least semi-decent. And I just don't think the Falcons last year were an 11-win team. 49ers, again, Pat, I agree with you. I look at their roster and I'm like, this was a team that wasn't that good last year, unarguably got significantly worse this year. Maybe, I don't see them winning 11 games. I know it's an easy schedule. It is one of the easiest schedules I've ever seen, but I don't think they're that good. I think that trumps it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My spots, Anthony or VG, any that you didn't pull out there that you really like?
I actually like the Raiders over 6.5 wins. I think Pete Carroll's good coach. Geno Smith's a decent quarterback.
I would go that
great.
route.
Ashton Genty. I like them over 6.5.
I would go that route.
Biggest bet.
Third biggest bet?
Raiders over.
Wow, man, we're all locked in. Synergy going on.
You guys have all individually picked out my three biggest bets.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah.
Raiders
over 6.5. I think it closes at 7.5. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. They're not bad.
And their
They're not
schedule, their
bad.
strength of schedule's middle of the road.
Bad.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. They're not bad.
They could. By the way, I even made a pizza bet on them at, I think it was 30-1 to win the division. I'm fading the Chiefs hard.
Nice.
I think it's going to be Denver or the Chargers, but I think the Raiders even have a puncher's chance of winning that division. I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs were finally going to see that year that they don't have one of those 14-3 kind of years, 13-4.
What do you think about the Broncos? Because Tyler, who's produced it today, he likes Broncos over 9.5 wins.
I have a big bet on over 8.5. I thought it should have been 9.5, and I thought the right number is 9.5, and I got over 8.5.
Yeah,
But
8.5 I like.
even lean over
9.5, I don't know.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah.
Pass.
You know what?
And I'm with Brad with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, I don't know. I could see the Chiefs dropping a little
So
bit.
can I. I'm thinking the same thing. 11.5 is too high. I think they're going to go 10-7.
They won
number.
a lot of squeakers last
They
year.
did, and their line
They
is
really
still not
did.
fixed.
Yeah.
And I still wonder about their skill people.
You know what's interesting? One of the guys I work with said, one of my good friends said something interesting to me. He goes, this is more from a fantasy perspective, not necessarily real life, but he goes, I think Patrick Mahomes has kind of morphed into a modern day Troy Aikman where he's great, but his stats aren't going to be that great, where he's not going to put up prolific stats anymore. Like the way when you first saw him with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce from 5 years ago, where he saw him for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns. And I'm like, I could kind of see that because last year's stats were actually pedestrian at best.
Dude, but
don't take
here's
away
my
his great-
argument on that. I don't think he's Aikman. I think he's Brady. All right? And hear me out. When Brady got Moss, he spiked. If you get him another big-time speed weapon on the outside, his numbers will be right back. His
Spike up
receivers
again,
aren't good. They're a step above Charles Johnson and Torrance Small, Pat McClune.
Those were the days. Those were the days.
Yeah, they might have to get James Thrash in as a fourth receiver this year.
I mean, not
Todd
for nothing.
Pinston.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this a little fun. All right, let's go rapid fire league over under. All right, are we good? Every team rapid fire.
Okay.
All right, Pat McClune, Bills 11.5.
Under.
VG
Over.
Brain.
Under.
All right, keep score, bot. Eagles 11.5. I'll save the Eagles. KC.
Yep.
We did. Baltimore 11.5. Pat.
Over.
Over.
Under.
Under. All right. He's anti 11.5 as a number. Detroit.
Right.
12 games is hard to win in this league.
Detroit 10.5. Pat.
Over. Wouldn't do it at 11.5. I'll do it at 10.5. Over.
Over. Overrated.
I agree.
Overrated division.
Over. I take the Lions over. I like the Lions. Over. Brad?
Over.
Yeah.
Over.
Plus, we got to show them some love for supporting.
No, I just think they're.
band.
I just think they're much. I think they're an 11-win team again. At least they could win 12 again.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Ben Johnson losing Ben Johnson. I still think their offense is great. They have the best running back
I
in
agree.
football, along with Saquon. I love that kid.
Yeah. I'm with you.
We did the Niners, Chargers, Harbaugh 9.5. Pat.
That's right on the money. I'm going to say over as they go 10-7.
VG.
I say under.
I say over. Brain.
Over.
Over.
That's I think they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
So do I. Now that they added some skill guys, they need some skill.
Yeah, I think they're going to be
for
good.
Herbert.
I like them.
He's a great coach. I agree.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going.
Not hard to say,
But we're in overtime. OT. Hit us. There you go, bot. Thank you. Overtime right now. Hit the like button. Subscribe to us. All right, please. There we go. Rams. Pat 9.5. You said
That was
it.
my pick. Over.
I know. Over. Brain.
Over.
Oh, we're all Team Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Washington 9.5. Pat.
Under.
Under. VG.
Under.
Under. I'll say under. Brain.
It's a sweep.
Under. All right. Houston, 9.5. Pat.
Boy, they're good. These numbers are good. Over.
Under.
Over. I like Houston over 9.5. People think, see, you watch, they fixed their line. Stroud has a better season. Over. At least a 10-win. Division I'm not impressed with. Brain.
This is probably the hardest one for me. I'm going to say under.
All right, we disagree. Broncos, 9.5. Pat.
I'm Team Brain. I'll go over.
Over.
Over for the Brain. All right. Packers.
Boo!
9.5. Pat.
Over.
Under.
Over.
Under.
9.5. I'm going to
Screw
go.
the
I'm
Pack.
going to say they win 10. Brain.
Over.
Over. All right. Bengals, 9.5. Pat.
Over.
This seems like a gimme. Over.
I say over too. Brain.
I've been waiting on this because I'm going to make a bet on this. I just need to make sure that Trey Hendrickson's going to be on the team. And I've been waiting until I get confirmation on that. But yes, over.
All right. Dolphins, 8.5. Pat.
I don't like the Dolphins. I really don't. But I don't see them. I'll say under.
I like McDaniels. So I don't think it's a strong division. I'll say over.
Under. I think they're under a bridge.
Under.
With a troll.
Under.
Bears, 8.5. Pat.
Under.
Under.
Under. I think they're an under too. All the Ben Johnson love. I go under. Brain.
Under. Sweep again.
Did you hear his comments yesterday about the shove? I like explosive
I
plays.
know. He's such
Get outta
he's
here.
an arrogant SOB.
Okay, genius.
Yes. Yes. What? Yeah. I'm rooting against him.
Me too.
We did Minnesota. Pittsburgh, 8.5. The specter of Rodgers still hangs.
Boy, that's really something. But history tells me they eke out a 9 and 8. Over.
Pains me for my friends in Pittsburgh, but under.
I'll say over. I agree. I think they somehow get to 9. Brain.
It's funny. Again, if Rodgers was there, I would take the over, but I cannot do it right now with their quarterback situation.
Right.
I
And
have to
part
go
of me
under.
believes that Rodgers is going to be there.
Speculation.
Yeah, all that speculation is that he's coming. He just wants to he doesn't want to go there in the spring and miss the workouts.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm going to say over.
They got you last year, didn't they, Brain? You had them as an under, I thought, last year.
I did, but again, you know what's funny? But again, I made a good bet. And again, I always say in life, my favorite line in the world, in life, we choose to be consistent or we choose to be right. Almost everyone in the world chooses to be consistent. Biggest mistake people can make. Much better to be right than to be consistent. Yes, I love the Steelers under. I bet it. They started off 3-0. I bet under 8.5. I think it was, or 9.5, whatever. I think I bet under 9.5. After 3 weeks, it was still 9.5. So I'm like, you know what? Wow, this team's 3-0. I get the same number. Did the same thing with with my Bills under last year. They started off like 3-0, and I got out of that bet. Much better to be right in this life than to be consistent. If I think I'm wrong on something, I don't have to be a stubborn mule, and I will change my mind in a second. If the data changes, you have to be willing to change.
I like that.
But this year for Pittsburgh, lean under just because of I need to see the quarterback there. But it would change to an over if he's playing, Anthony.
Uncle Frank, keep the show going. I only got 2 beers left. Seahawks, 8.5. Pat.
If I'm going under on the 49ers, I have to eke out the Seahawks at over.
I'll say under.
I like the over. I like Seattle.
Yeah.
Brain.
I bet this one. I bet the under.
Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah, I think they downgraded significantly this year.
All right. Atlanta. Pat.
Number?
I'm sorry, 7.5.
Oh boy. Under.
I go over. I think they're a
I got
nine-win
over.
team.
I'm going to go Team Penix.
Mm-hmm.
Brain.
My favorite bets. This is one of my favorite bets. Loved under 10.5 last year. This team is better than the 10.5 team, and now they're making it 7.5.
Yeah,
This team is better. Me over all day.
I
think
agree.
they're going to win double digits. I actually think they're a good sneaky team that's going to be decent.
In a bad division. I agree.
Correct.
How about Jacksonville? 7.5. Pat.
Under.
Under.
Yeah, under.
Under. Brain.
I actually disagree with you guys. To me, getting Hunter I can't overstate that. I think it's a massive, massive thing. This team has great receivers. I understand Lawrence isn't what they thought he'd be, but in that division, no, I think this team wins 8 games. I really do.
Make a case. Patriots, 8.5. Pat.
Not yet. Under.
Yep.
Next year it'll be pretty good.
I'm going to say over. I like Vrabel.
Yeah, I like Vrabel too, but not yet. I agree with Pat. I think they're a year away. I'll say under. Brain.
I got to tell you something. I speculated on these things. I knew this was going to be my biggest bet of my life. I was salivating. I was going to bet the Patriots over 6.5, go all in. This is going to be my bet of the year. And they put it at 8.5. I'm like, holy smokes, I can't believe you're doing that. I never thought it would be that high. I have to go under. I just can't believe they made it that high.
Yeah.
I want to take the over because the schedule's so easy, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I say under. 8.5 is too much. You make a good case about Jacksonville. I just worry about their trenches. It's less. I still think Sunshine could be rehabbed. Like he throws a nice ball. I still think he's good. But their line sucks, and I think that was his biggest issue. And I just think they didn't build it correctly. I think it's going to take a year still, but you make a good case about the 7.5. Let me go Colts, Pat. Steichen, 7.5.
I almost thought about making that one of the few. It's 7.5, right? I'm going to go over on that.
Over. All right.
I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under on that one as well. Brain?
I have a small bet, not a big bet, but a small bet on the under. I don't think they get 8 wins. Again, outside of Taylor, where is this team really that good? Maybe the tight end, I guess.
Yeah,
But
their defense is
the quarterback situation. I can't back it.
Yeah. All right, we did the Raiders. Everyone likes the over on the Raiders. That right? Yep. Pat, you were an over guy. Brain's an over guy. VG's an over guy. Carolina, 6.5.
They're going to be better. I'm going to go under.
Under.
I'll go under. Brain?
This is another hard one for me. I was hoping this would come in at 5.5. I was going to bet the over. This is, again, I'm not betting it, but a gun to my head, I think they go 7 and 10.
Really? Yeah. I don't. All of a sudden, Bryce Young is a player. I don't know. I got to see that.
I know. I get it. Again, I'm not betting this.
Yeah.
This would be one of the last 3 I'd bet on the board.
All right, Tennessee, 5.5. Tennessee, Pat.
Such a low number. I'll go over.
Yeah, I'm going over. They have a pretty easy schedule.
I agree. I think they win 6. Brain?
Same rationale. It's like at 5.5. How can I really go under? I end up with that schedule. Lean over again. Not betting it, but I can't take under 5.5. And maybe Cam is really good.
Saints move to 6.5. Pat.
I think Kellen Moore and the boys are really going to struggle. That's a low number. It's tough. I'm going to go under.
It's a low number. They got an easy schedule. Under. I'm not a Kellen Moore fan.
You're not? I like Kellen, but 6.5.
Under.
I don't see this team winning 7 games.
I bet under 6.5. To me, this is not a hard one. Come on.
This
team could be the worst team.
I like when he gets like he's got the righteous indignation.
Yeah. Like, what are you about wasting my time with this question?
Yeah. The Jets, 5.5. Pat.
Man.
Over. I think Glenn's going to be a good coach.
Yeah, I'm under. I don't know what they got going on in the Jets. They're under.
I'm going to go over too. I think they win at least 6. Brain?
Yeah, I lean over just because, again, such a low number, but again, not something I'm personally betting on. But yes, lean over.
All right. I saved 3 teams for last. Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. Let's get the Giants out of the way. 5.5 G-men. Pat.
Such a low number, such a bad squad. I say they win 6 this year.
Ooh, their schedule's tough. They stink. This number should be 3.5. Under.
Brain.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of people I respect like the Giants under, and I say to myself, again, I'm not a Giants guy, so please don't mistake this. But I say to myself, they significantly improved the quarterback situation. The running back room is not bad. I love the guy from Arizona State. He was like my favorite. I think he will be.
Yeah,
I'll be surprised if he's not a very good NFL player.
He is going to be an NFL player. I agree.
And I think
I hate that he's on the Giants. I really do.
Yeah,
I
you're
love the
right,
Giants.
Pat.
And
We
I
talked about him. The fact is, you
he's
want
on
to
the
root for
Giants.
that. That kid's
I
our
want to root
kind
for
of
that
back.
kid. He's our exactly. Yeah. And the other I can't think of his name. The guy from Purdue who played well from last year, the running back, I think is decent. I look at the receivers. Neighbors is obviously solid. Wilson's not atrocious, and the defensive line. I got to be honest. You could say it's good. It should be very, very good.
Yeah.
I got to go over.
Russell Wilson.
I'll be honest with you.
Russell Wilson.
I would play
I say
Jameis
he's not
over
atrocious,
Russ.
BJ. I didn't say good. I said not atrocious.
I'd rather have Mr. Pick than Russ. I'd start Jameis over Russ. I just think Russ got nothing.
I agree.
Yeah.
He can't see.
I think
the issue with Russ is
he lost his
needed to
athleticism.
move
That
to
destroyed
find
his
throwing
career.
lanes.
Well, he needed to be mobile to be effective. Once he lost his mobility, he lost his ability to be a Hall of Fame player.
Well, to be good.
To be good. Yeah. He was a Hall of Fame player, but yeah, to even be effective. Yes.
I think you need. If I were me, I'd play Jameis. He'd still sling it, Jameis. He'll throw it to the other team 20 times a year, but you know. All right, Dallas, 7.5. I'm going to start with Brain.
Listen, how many times do you see a quarterback, a team total that low, guys, with an above average NFL quarterback? Very, very rarely. And you could say Dak isn't an MVP, though he came second, twice in 3 years. You can't say he stinks. I mean, I don't care if you're an Eagles fan. You can't say the guy sucks. He doesn't suck, okay? He's had 2 runner-up MVP performances. You can't say he stinks. You can say you don't think he's the best. You can say you don't think he's an all-pro, but you can't say he stinks. And I know you're going to say it. So
I'm pointing to
doesn't
Pat.
stink.
I
And
can't wait for Pat to
a
go.
quarterback that is a good quarterback, you usually don't see 7.5. They added Pickens. I bet over 7.5. I bet it before they got Pickens. This team should win 8 games.
Pat.
Mark it down. This is going to be history from out of my mouth. Mark it down. That coaching decision they made was horrendous. This guy is going to be awful. 7.5 is a really low number, though. I easily see them go. They're okay. So they're going to be. I don't see them going 6-11, 7-10. I see them going 8-9, 9-8. It pains me. I could go 5 years without saying anything positive. I'll say over.
Wow! It's historic. He called it. He called over. Oh, I thought for sure
being objective.
that he would not be objective and that his seething, blinding hatred would come to the forefront of the star,
Pure respect.
which is a
It normally
pentagram.
does. Count on that to continue, but right here, they're due.
Dak stinks. He's old. He's coming off a season-ending injury. Their head coach has got genetically mediocre in his name and genes to Schottenheimer. Over 7.5.
Ah! Yeah, I think it's an over too. I hate to say it. It's an over. Now,
did you guys see that thing where they had the picture of Dak on a cologne, and it was like, if you want to like stink up and have your girlfriend be unattracted to you and throw like interception or whatever, it was like a thing with him with some stinky cologne. I was laughing. I got to find it to you guys and send it to you. It was actually quite funny.
That's great. All right, last team, your Philadelphia Eagles, 11 and a half. Let us start with VG. VG.
Cruise. This is a 14-win team. I said it. ChatGPT said it. All the good AI interfaces say it. 14-3. Book it.
I say agree. Over. Pat.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I had the lowest number last week, and that number was still over 11 and a half. Over.
Pat goes over. VG goes over. I go over. Brain.
You set me up like this. Yeah. I thought we were friends. You set me up to be the fall guy, to be the bad guy, to be the villain, where people are like, what's wrong with this schmuck who can't even, the Super Bowl team has the best talent. Who's going to take the under other than me? And nothing personal. It's nothing personal. And I proved it by taking the under in the Ravens, taking the under in the Bills. Hard to win 12 games. And you know what, the guys? Their schedule out of those teams is the hardest. And it's not an anti-anything. I know they're great. I know they have the talent. I just think it's hard to win 12 games. Take it.
He should have been like petting a cat, like Dr. Evil or whatever.
I know.
We know you love the Eagles, but we think you're wrong on this. And you're just betting numbers. You're not going, you know how we are. I go all into the matchup. And you go numbers. But I hear you. I had to do it. We had to do it. It's theater.
I'm rooting to listen. I'm an Eagles fan. I hope they go 17-0.
All right. It's the same way when I said in the Super Bowl, double digits. Remember that. I was saying double digits from the beginning of the 2 weeks.
Yeah. That was the all-timer. They'll never. Let me ask you a question, though, guys. All you guys are all Eagles fans.
No, but I separate when I'm doing this stuff.
No. Which Super Bowl did you enjoy more, 2017 or last year?
Oh, last year.
Really?
Yeah.
See, for me, it was the other. It was because it was the first one, and it was a great, exciting game. This was like, they won a zillion to nothing, but I thought that was more anticlimactic. It was great, don't get me wrong. But I thought it was like the first one to me was one of the best.
Listen, great. That makes sense. Pat, I'll throw it to you.
I got distracted.
Oh, which Super Bowl did you enjoy more of the Eagles? Which Super Bowl victory?
You can only win the Super Bowl for the first time once. I enjoyed the first one better.
You're on Team Brain.
Yeah, I want to put up 60 on the Chiefs.
Listen, I cried in 18. Yes. I didn't cry this year.
Right, true.
So emotionally, I get where you're coming from. But man, last year was awesome. Like it was outrageous. Beating them, whooping on them, whooping ass. Come on,
BTA.
That was awesome. All right, Brain, Pat, stay along for this because the Brain and VG go head-to-head daily, courtesy of our good friends at Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. What did you do, guys, yesterday?
I went 1-2. I am now 31-27.
31-27.
You know who's not my good friend, Anthony? You know who's not
Walker.
Not my good friend? Well, Tavon Walker, no. But Tavon Walker's at least not on my 4-letter blank list. Hunter Brown.
Hunter Brown was...
I triple dipped. First time in the history of the show, I triple dipped. And when you go 0-3, it makes it challenging to have a good day. But fortunately, I mitigated what would have been a horrible day. We did go 3-1, and we pushed one. We pushed DeGrom on the 5-inning line, but we went 3-1 in the other 4. So we ended up going 3-4. Now 58-49. But man, losing.
Did you have Walker yesterday too? Over the strikeouts?
I lost. I bet his over hits, which one, but I didn't give that as the official one. I bet the over strikeouts. They took him out to 60 pitches.
I know.
60 pitches.
Well, VG had it in a SGP And
I had a 5-legger. All I needed was his strikeouts.
I thought it was a good bet, man. He had none after 4. Got 2 in the 5th. I'm like, okay, they're going to bring him out for the 6th. Why not? He has 60 pitches.
Yep.
Yeah. It was 68, but still, he should have been. I know Pat said, he made a good point about coming back out of the bullpen, but he's a starter. I mean, come on. He's all right. Let him go. Anyway.
Plus, it's a veteran.
Here we go for
It's not some
today.
young kid,
How many you got, VG?
I got 3.
How many you got, Brain?
4.
Four. All right. Go, Brain.
4.
Lead off.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to start off with the Las Vegas A's against the Anaheim Angels. Total, I took under 6 runs in the 5-inning line. Now, let's look at the data here. Severino, 4.2 ERA. Anderson, 3.04. I think it's fair to call them league average pitchers. These teams are middle of the pack runs scored. The average team total is about 8 runs in the Major League game. I took under 6. I don't trust either bullpen. I took under 6 in the 5-inning line, daring 7 runs to be scored in 5 innings. A lot of times there's not 7 runs scored in a game. I don't think these pitchers are horrible. I don't think these lineups are great. I'll take under 6, and if it's 7 runs, I'll take my medicine.
All right.
I'm grabbing Phillies team over 7.5. Marquez has given up 5 or more earned runs, 6 of his last 7 starts. I think they pound on him a good bit. So Phillies over 7.5 runs.
All right. Brain.
25 runs, Anthony, right? For the first 3 games?
Yes, we said
talked
over
about that.
30.
Yeah. I'm going to do the Braves. Schaller, who they called up the minors, has been terrific for them. Absolutely terrific. Braves have the worst bullpen probably in Major League Baseball. So I'll take them in the 5-inning line against Trevor Williams, who has a 5.91 ERA. Schaller, his last 20 innings, only allowed 1 run. Braves were laying about $1. I think I laid $1.38. Very reasonable. I think this is a bet that wins closer to 64% of the time, let's call it. I'll take the Braves in the 5-inning line, take my chances.
I'm going to go to the Astros Mariners. They got Astros got Lance McCullers on the mound. He's got an ERA over 7. Mariners are throwing out George Kirby. I don't know who that is. So over 8.5 for me. Astros Mariners over 8.5.
Kirby's not bad, but go ahead.
Wait, PG, you don't know who that is?
No.
George Kirby's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
No.
Come on, he's no joke. He's been hurt all year, so he's probably only going to be on a pitch count. But he actually is a good pitcher. But you're right, McCullers has been an utter gas can. So I hear you on that. I'm going to go, guys. Listen to this. Tanner Beebe, who was a guy before the year I was coming to his own as an elite pitcher. His last 12 starts, how many times has he gotten 6 strikeouts? None. He has 35 strikeouts in 51 innings, one of the worst rates in all of Major League Baseball. I have no choice but to take under 5.5 strikeouts. When he gets 6 or more tomorrow, I'll take my medicine, but I have to go under 5.5.
All right, I'm going to Padres Toronto. Padres lost 5 straight. They win today. Padres minus 134.
All right, what do you got?
And I will go last one, guys. Nate Eovaldi, who's to me a really become a really nice pitcher as the
He's had a great season so far.
He's had a great season. 8-2 this year to over 16.5 outs. 20-9 last year. I know it's against the Yankees. I don't care. I'll take over 16. It reminds me of Corbin Burns last night. I'll take over 16.5 outs with Eovaldi. I think this bet absolutely wins 2 out of 3 times.
All right. There you go, boys. All right. Last thing, we got 2 playoff games. Let's go around the horn. All right. What's the line on the OKC, Minnesota?
I believe it's 7. Let me see something. I will check it out.
7.5.
All right, 7.5.
7.5.
Pat,
Okay.
what happens tonight in basketball?
The barn burners continue. I'll take the Wolves to keep it close.
Wolves close, Pat, VG.
I think OKC rolls again.
Okay, Brain.
Minnesota.
Hey, all right, Brain and Pat on the same wavelength. All right. Hockey tonight. Florida dominated Carolina in game 1.
Yeah.
Pat, what happens game 2?
Well, I live for the drop of the puck, so I'm going to back Bobrovsky, who's made the Flyers look for a lot of years. I'll stick with Florida.
Are you going to go Flyers and Bob?
I think the Canes come back tonight.
You got the Canes tonight?
Yeah.
All right, Brain.
Yeah, again, same thing here. I'll lean Carolina, but it really did seem like Florida had them pretty good in game 1. Didn't look like a fluke, but I'm going to lean Carolina.
They dominated them, like completely dominated them. Every aspect of the game. Crazy. All right, that's going to do it, boys. What a blast. I love the try box of Pat in the brain. That's awesome.
You're live looking in. Yep, absolutely. A lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, brother. From the editor's
Thanks,
desk,
Pat.
from the inside the brain.
Thanks, Brain.
Great stuff, boys. Thank you. All right.
Brain looking good these days. He's got a tan going.
The two of them looked, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was fun. All right. Last thing, back in the day.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Back.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day.
Our boy retired yesterday. Gene the Hit Machine, Gene Segura. So let's go back a little bit.
Gene, the Hit Machine. Wow. Segura.
He had a good game. It was game 3 of the NLCS.
Yeah, he did. Base hit. Listen to that crowd. Oh, October baseball.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Look at Gene.
Ooh, turned it.
4-6-3 on that double play.
Good footwork by Gene there.
It was. Look at that diving stop by Gene.
Yeah,
The glove machine.
I liked Gene when he was here.
Did you?
Yeah,
did. That's
he was
all
a
right.
decent batter. He's a professional hitter.
Yeah. Gene or Pedro Feliz?
Gene.
I go I was a Feliz.
Pedro has some good leather.
Oh, he had a great arm, too.
Yeah.
He always delivered the ball on a 5-4-3 double play. Oh, chest high, perfect delivery.
Yeah.
Chase didn't have to move the glove.
Nope. Yeah.
You just go with the pivot. What do you got going on, Bot?
I think I go Phillies defensively. Segura a little bit extra. Because Phillies was supposed to have a little extra pop, and it didn't really materialize here.
Yeah, well, Segura wasn't hitting any home runs.
Right, but Segura was kind of
Average
contact guy.
Yeah.
When he was in Milwaukee, he'd hit for average.
Yeah, I think he hit over 280 with the Phils in his time here. He was,
John P. says he hit 281 with the Phillies and 281 for his career.
Yeah, big. Where you got Phillies?
Yeah, we're actually going to talk about Gene Segura a little bit later today.
Okay.
Kind of reminisce on his time because I think he was a kind of a critical piece to that team. Because you saw it, right? When he turned 2, Bryson Stott with the turn, he was playing short at the time.
Yeah.
But I think Segura was a critical piece, and we'll talk a little bit about that game 1 of the wild card game.
Nice. Look forward to it. All right. Then we'll be watching Phillies later. Keep
wait.
it right here though on PHLY, all the stuff. Great job, Bot, today.
Yeah, nice
Great
work,
job,
Bot.
Joey. Joe. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed a little overtime today. I was chatty today.
I like it.
Have a wonderful day. Go Phils. See you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.